I assume Wisp is there.
Yeah, Whisp is right.
Hey.
Anyway. Good evening, good afternoon, folks. Welcome to Smudcast number 492, Turning Red Deserved Better, which is odd because reviews of the movie are still coming in. I've seen ones from yesterday and the day before, so people are still reviewing the movie. It got okay reviews. It didn't suck. It wasn't bad. It just wasn't great. That's fine. That's a fair take at a movie. It's nothing to get excited over, but it wasn't bad to watch. And I saw bits and pieces of it. I didn't sit down and see it all. I do have a subscription from my brother who comes over with his kids a lot, and we watch Disney Plus stuff, and this was on, and we watched it a little bit here and there, and it was fun. That was it. I did not watch a lot of it, just a little bit here and there. I don't know what the ending's like. I don't know the last half. I heard it gets off the rails, but it's an animation. Whoop-de-doo. It's for kids. I'm not too concerned about that. Anyway, the video we're watching came out this month, just last week, from Saberspark. It has almost 1 million views. This guy has a 1.55 million subs anyway, so that's pretty normal for him, I guess. So good for him. But it's a 24-minute video, and I've watched a few minutes already, and he's said pretty much all there is to say. So I'm curious where he's going to go from here, or from the 5-minute mark. I know some of you have already seen the film. If you don't know, it's a story about a Chinese immigrant family in Toronto from the 90s, 2000s, and the daughter is going through a magical metamorphosis into a giant red panda, and it's whenever she gets emotionally charged about anything, because it could be anger, it could be happiness. She just turns into a giant panda, or parts of her body do. And it's been this strange curse, or not a curse, but a request from the women of the family, from ancient China or whatever, because the men were off to war, and the women had to protect their family when anyone came by. So they wished for this to do so, and
they wish to be furries.
The gods made them turn into a giant creature, or a panda. And that was their gift to protect. So all the female daughters of this family have this gift, or curse, whatever you want to call it. And that's sort of the fun part of the film. When you get to the later part of the film, that's when things get off the rails, where the girl starts rebelling. And the girl's like a straight-A student. She's perfectly energetic. She's very emotional. She's very gung-ho. She's one of those go-getters, I guess you can call. She's good at school. She's good at athletics. She's good at everything. So when she grows up, she's growing into being a teenager. She gets emotional. She gets aroused. She's into boy bands. She's into other things like that. And that's where you see the rebellious stage. And that's where it sort of goes off the rails. And we see the weirdness of the mother and the weirdness of the daughter. And it's just this, okay, where are we going with this story now? That's where I think the problem lies. Not the art direction, not the music, not the setting, none of that other stuff that we normally would have with a Disney film. This is just purely the story going weird. And that's why it's bad. Not because the content is bad or the setting with the characterization. No, it's none of that. So
Furry pandering.
Or whatever. Whatever the case may be. I don't think it's that, yeah. But anyway, we're gonna hear this opinion from Mr. Raycon. No, I'm sorry, not Mr.
Hello.
Rick. Hey, Wisp. From Mr. Saberspark.
I found the art direction atrocious, by the way.
It was bad?
Yeah, it's the worst version of CalArts style but in 3D.
You know, I've seen a lot
CalArts and Ghibli.
Well, no, it's a bit different.
Ghibli? What about this is Ghibli?
I think
because
I've seen people say that like the bean mouth is from the Ghibli stuff. I'm just like, really? Yeah, I'm just like, really? I'm just like, what?
They're coping hard now.
Well,
you think?
I didn't mind the art style because when I see stuff with my niece and nephew, it's very colorful anyway.
Yeah.
And it's all for kids, so it's like, all right, it's fine. They understand it.
There's ways to look past it. It's not bad on definition. It's just that very often bad things nowadays are also made in this style.
Yeah.
And when that comes together, especially when the style is overblown, that is really bad. Like in Gravity Falls, it kind of worked. And in Luca also used this style, but on a much more comparatively subtle degree.
I think the 2D is the association with those kinds of animations just make it feel like it's associated in a bad way. But the actual content, the actual animation style, the shading, all that's high quality in Pixar stuff. So it doesn't really bother. Like when you look at Luca, it's very colorful.
Yeah.
It's very
bright.
No,
that's the colorfulness. That's all right. That's not the issue. It's just this bean mouth style. In Luca, it is subtle. You barely notice it. It's almost on a still cutish level, like it's just a style choice. In Turning Red, it is in your face with these giant, with these head-sized tombstone teeth.
Oh yeah.
These giant mouths and these giant expressions. I mean, and if the movie was good otherwise, I could look past that. But it's just one more bad thing about it. The story is, it superficially. No, not even superficially. The lines in there are just too bad.
Yeah, as I said, it goes off the rails in terms of the story. About not say halfway done, but near the end of the story, the mother and the daughter, their reactions are just bizarre. Like the mother is the what's the word?
Only then?
I don't. Well, no.
The joke is the real joke is, since the movie is pretty blatant about what its metaphor is and what it means and what it stands for.
Well, that's fine.
Which is period, puberty, changing body, and exposing and selling your body because it's your panda, your choice. Haha.
Yeah.
Yeah, great. A 13-year-old girl, by the way. And like this last line, which was meant as a joke, of course. Of course, it's just a joke, bro. Where the mother says, "Do you want to go out with your panda out like that?" Well, panda is the metaphor for body. Like, my panda, my choice. My body, my choice. This is a 13-year-old girl.
That's a pretty silly
when you take everything into context here in this movie, the overbearing mother, all her absolutely insane actions, are justified. I have never seen a movie where the overbearing, the obnoxiously control focus heavy mother is in the right.
That's because
I've never seen that before. And that wasn't intended. It's not the intended message. The intended message is, yes, the mother is overreacting. But when we look at the context, no, she isn't.
Yeah, the friends. Let's forget that she turns into a giant panda when she gets emotional. That's kind of weird. But the friends and her, once they're getting older in years or whatever, they're like, we gotta sneak out. We gotta go to the boy band at the Sky Dome, and it's like, okay. I mean, you have a rebellious phase.
There's time skips in this movie, really?
Well, they do get older, yeah.
Well, there's a montage.
Yeah.
A montage of how she sells her panda. Right. And pictures of her panda. And posing in pictures together with her panda.
No, you made me think about it. Ew. Get away.
Yeah.
Get away.
Because that's how they make money. For tickets for the boy band, including being the special guest or attraction at another boy's birthday party, where everybody can take rides on her panda for money. Like, if we insert the metaphor here, it gets a bit more obvious, doesn't it?
Well, yeah.
I had a you're telling this to someone who hasn't seen the movie and didn't want to see the movie before even you even told me that.
Anyway,
panda.
Now I don't want it anywhere near me.
Anyway, let's hear this guy's opinion because he loves it, and I wish I saw more of it so I can comment on it. But what I remember, what my brother told me, and my brother's wife is Chinese, so she could like the movie in her own way. I have to talk to her about it still, so I don't know if she even saw it. So,
I'm pretty sure she'd riff on it like a motherfucker.
I don't know. Yeah, she's pretty smart when it comes to analyzing media, so I have to ask her. But yeah, no, I'd like to have that conversation because it's just not in my purview. I just watch it with my family when they're around, and it was that one time. And you're like, oh, okay, cool. And then we played with trucks and cars. So, yeah, wasn't paying attention. So, anyway, let's go.
This video is brought to you by Raycon. Hey folks, how's it going? Today I am talking about the newest film from Pixar called Turning Red. And I won't get stuck on, I guess, leading up to this video. I will comment on it right now though. There's been a lot of discourse on Twitter, Facebook, YouTube, leading to the premiere of Turning Red. Folks getting really stuck on the entire, it's a teenage girl, it's about puberty, it's
She's
about
barely
feminine
in
things, I can't relate to it,
That's not the issue.
I tried my best to tune it out, not out of a place of ignorance, but of a place of trying to see it from a constructive perspective. And above all else, not jumping to conclusions until I actually, watch the movie, which I did twice. And I gotta say, folks,
Oh, God.
I loved it. I wasn't expecting to love it. I thought it would be like, it's all right. It's good. Not as bad.
This guy's hairline beneath his glasses?
It's a style choice.
I don't know what the... look at
His hair, his choice.
Oh, God.
But I mean, even as a movie, even as a Pixar movie, this is not a movie to love. This is not even mediocre.
It is very obvious what people have an issue with.
It's an absolutely mediocre movie. I don't think it has any rewatchability.
It's a bit strange because some of the reviewers love the thing, and the ones that I like did not very much. It was like a one-time thing. You watch it, you go, okay, cool. People who liked it were like, oh, cool, that's like Toronto, and this is the Sky Dome, and blah. You're like, yeah,
Okay,
I like that stuff.
Local patriotism.
They could relate to it because they knew some of the
That is a weak
visuals,
argument.
or the visuals rather. So yeah, but it was a mixed review. It wasn't bad, but it wasn't great. So I have to.
I mean, if you like a movie because you see a thing from your town in there, that's.
I know. It's kind of weird though to see Toronto streetcars from the 2000s. It's like, whoa, that's weird.
Yeah. When I like, if I saw something from my hometown in a movie and it's a bad movie, I'd be embarrassed. Maybe it's just coping.
I think so. Yeah. You gotta look at the positive, right? You're like, oh yeah, it's in Toronto. That's great. It's like, yeah, great for Toronto. Maybe they got a grant from the Canadian Media Board or something.
I'm probably gonna get that from Black Panther, too, because my sister works at a hotel. Apparently, she saw the cast there where she works. And I'm just like, oh god, no.
Really?
Oh god.
Fun times. All right.
As what folks were fearing it would be, for whatever awkward reason, why people were going into this film with these hangups of social media woes and fears and mongering and whatever. It's like, no. Just calm down. Go watch the movie.
Yeah, that's what I did.
And that's what I did.
That's what I did. It was
that
shit.
watching a movie and basing set opinions after watching it would actually give you a sound point of view with your thoughts.
Yeah, and that's where mine come from.
Movie's
shit.
What a guy! I justified it by going to the movies, guys. Everything I thought about it beforehand is true. Like, thanks. That's great.
Yeah, and everything I thought before and about it is true as well. What's with my lived experience here?
See,
and I'm telling people, don't spend money on this. It's not worth it. Well, he's saying, no, spend money on it. Spend money on it.
The people...
It's totally not. You need to give it a chance. You need to watch STD before you criticize it. You need to buy the ticket to the shitty movie that everybody says it's shit. Otherwise, you can't say it's shit. You have to pay for it.
Yeah, the people...
Like, what is this? What is this shitty argument?
Yeah, the people who have this opinion as if don't base it until you experience it is fine, but to say it in the way he did, Like, I would never, guys, you shouldn't base your opinion on an experience until you actually experience. Like, I would never say that. Just like, this is this big sort of, this is my philosophy, and if you don't listen to me, then you're probably not as good as I am. It's like, okay, wait, slow down.
Technically, the question is, why should people listen to his opinion after watching it, and not to my opinion after watching it?
Well, this is the problem with reviewers who aren't stringent or don't have a criteria or don't know what they're talking about outside of, I really liked it. It was fun. I don't know why you didn't enjoy all this crazy stuff. But like, it's like, okay, whoa, I get it. It's for kids. It's colorful. It's fun. It's animated. Yes, that's fine. What about it was good? Because every film for kids does that. What is special about it? Tell me.
I had higher standards as a kid than this movie. I would have found this cringe and unbearable to watch.
Okay.
And creepy.
Absolutely. Yes.
Because it's obvious. It's even as a kid of that age, that is the target demographic of this movie. It's obvious what it's about.
There's a scene I know I watched with it was some sort of convenience store or something. The mom is like, the girl is interested in some guy in her school, and she goes and brings her into the convenience store or something like that. And it's like, okay, this is a little cringy. Like, this would be a very overbearing mother thing to do. Really, like, imagine if this was not Chinese. Imagine if this was European or Catholic. Just very strict mother going after her daughter's interests, which happens to be a boy. It's like, whoa, this is too much. And maybe it's played for laughs, but I was like, it's kind of weird. But then I went back to playing with my trucks with my nephew. So I don't know.
Of course it's weird. It's in the same movie where they say my panda, my choice. Fucking hell.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Jacob put it well in the chat. He figured out you can't be anti-war unless you experience war.
Yeah.
Got it.
Here's JS. Thank you. Turning
Tell that to Hideo Kojima. As complex as his stories are.
Oh.
And complex and weird.
Here's JS. Turning red, or I have bean mouth and I must scream. Not quite the same energy. not quite as Harlan Ellison, but I see what you're saying. One more.
Close enough.
JJJ Madness for the super chat. Turning red is just another reason nobody respects Canada. Maybe Toronto, but not Canada. That's a bit broad. Toronto does not speak for Canada. Believe me, that's ridiculous. Very large.
Otherwise, it would be a big oof.
I like Trunk Mumble's statement there. He's acting like watching a movie causes some sort of body snatchers style hive mind to take you over, and you have no other opinions other than positivity.
Yeah, there's this epiphany of going to the cinema. Oh, it's a kids' movie. I wasn't expecting that. Okay.
It has pretty colors, so I like it.
Yeah.
Oh.
I'm an animator. Is this guy an animator? I have no clue. I know nothing about this channel. So I'm assuming he likes to draw. So he sees drawings, he goes, this is good. I like it. Fair enough.
Yeah.
And I'm not even folks even have to feel the way that I do. I look through my Twitter replies to me talking about the movie and how I liked it. And there are folks who are like, I didn't care for the visuals. I didn't care for the story. I didn't care for the characters. And you know what? That's okay. No one's forcing you to like it. I think it's too often we forget that.
Why are you trying to?
Opinions. Now, whether said opinions are grounded and good, like backed up thoughts and research and opinions,
Backed up thoughts, research. Okay, I don't think you need to research a film. You just watch it. And then you remember what you watched. You don't need to understand the cultural significance of why, the creators were Asian and where they came from. I'm sure they have a story in there and they made it into a fun film for kids. That's assumed. We don't need to guess.
Also, in the picture behind him from the movie, you can see all the kids riding her panda.
That's great.
Stop it, but it makes me uncomfortable now. No.
I watched this movie and it made me uncomfortable the whole bloody time. Not just from the cringe looks and in cringe
I don't want to experience that shit with you, so stop.
The only bearable character of the kids was the skater girl that looks like Peppermint Patty, just more grown. She's the least offensive. and the security guy of the school who was a Sikh, he had no speech lines, I think. who kept telling the mom to please leave the premises, or shoved her off.
Yeah.
That was he's my favorite character of this, and the mother is surprisingly well justified. Like basically the Chinese family is, that's interesting. They could have played more with that.
Yeah.
If they had played some magical adventure, like you would expect with these kinds of suddenly mystical being transformation thing.
Right.
I think they would have just made a decent mediocre movie. Instead, they went with the panda is the body metaphor thing, and that makes it creepy.
When there's a family secret or something like this in these stories, it's like, oh, okay, we come from a line of this or that monks, and we made a pact with some devil to protect our homeland. It's been around for 400 years, and we got to do all these rituals and blah, 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 and go on a journey. And your life is different, and you have to learn about yourself, and you learn about your family and friends and loves and what it means to be alive and grow and change. And this is like, no, you're going to keep doing what you're doing, and you're going to get emotional, and as soon as you do, you're going to grow a panda arm and punch someone, and that's bad. You're like, oh, right.
Is it sad that, I mean, might be a hot take, but is it sad that Devil May Cry does this better than Turning Red? Devil May Cry 3 specifically?
Why would it be sad?
I'm just like, geez, like there's a standard for this shit. That game came out in 2005. It's 2022 now, and they can't. Yeah, it's current year, and instead, someone as big as Pixar, Disney, can't do this right. When Capcom nailed it, it's like 17 years ago.
There's a fine art from going, let's say, because all these ideas came out in manga, probably in the 90s with Ranma 1/2. Like all these awkward moments of turning your body into something else, then trying to cover that up or act normally, as if it's
but that was funny.
But that's what I mean. Like that's the level of comedy that you would have to understand to say when your body is transforming, and it's supposed to be this hidden thing, and I don't know what to do. It's in front of the person I like, and oh my god, what do I do? Like that sort of scenario, and
was more. Ranma Half was more grown up about a complete repetitive joke like this than this movie.
And because it had to do with nudity and being in a bathhouse or whatever the hell that place was where they all fell in.
Yeah.
Like it's already.
They all fell in. That's Yuzenkyo something.
I don't remember what it's called, but it's basically
the thousand well springs.
Yeah, everyone has to accept this reality, so it's not just happening to one person, but in this case, it's localized to this one individual, or rather that family. So they would have this history of like what to do, all the discipline involved. That's why the mother is so strict, and that's where it sort of falls apart. Where it's like, hey, daughter, I'm going to teach you about this thing, and she doesn't seem to care.
Yeah, I think it would have made more sense to from the so that was an admitted mistake as well, because the mother thought she still had more time. So she probably would have tried to prepare her just before it would start, the whole transformation thing.
Right.
However, I thought for a moment the movie might go in a good direction, which was when the girl realized that as long as she controls her emotions, the panda's not coming out. There's no random transformations or anything.
And then they do the exact fucking opposite.
Yeah. But with all the and her parents put all these tests before her to get her emotional and let it out so that they could. Because the parents hoped that she couldn't, so that they could say, "See, you're not ready. We can't let you go out." And but she mastered all of those. And the interesting thing would have been to go from there and then learn something about using the panda powers for good. But instead, she does the girl thing and hauls herself out. The boy's story would have been learning to use the panda powers for good, saving people, saving friends, outrunning Superman. What do I know?
Which is the direction. Which is, if I may add this, which is kind of, sort of the direction DMC takes with it. If you really look at it,
story takes with it.
No, I'm just saying DMC because that's what came to mind.
Instead, completely ignores that and just abuses the power for what we usually call evil.
Or
make money with this weird thing you have.
Yeah.
To obtain something completely and utterly selfish.
All right.
And the conclusion of the movie is, be selfish. Essentially, whore yourself out is okay, as long as you're feeling nice about it. That's the message.
Kind of strange.
And that is atrocious for a kids movie.
Kind of strange for a tiger mom Chinese family to just let her daughter just do that. It's like, wait a second. This is a tradition we've had for hundreds of years. It's a discipline. She has to learn it, and she's just going nuts.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, wait a second. It's not.
It's like, no.
All right. You could have something really amazing with this, and instead they just went boop.
Yeah. All right.
Because she had it under control. So in a way, you can say, okay, you can place this as the thing for puberty getting out of line, and keeping the panda in is what proves that you are in control of yourself and that you are becoming an adult, because the panda is also representative for your emotional, unchecked, childish side, where you don't have your inner child under control.
Yeah, this is all kinds of Freudian imagery if you really want to go that far. It could have been better, obviously. It could have been handled in a more mature manner. And I think they just went for laughs or goofy scenarios. Like, I guess the message of
You
this...
could have done this with any of the other variants of how to do this story.
Yeah, I don't know. The message of the story could have been just like, have fun while you're young, I guess. Grow out of it. But we don't know yet. So, unless there's a second film, which I doubt there will be. But
there better not be.
It was well received, so there could very well be a second one. I doubt it though, because they have better ideas to come up with.
Oh boy, Turning Red 2, where there's more my panda, my choice. Oh dear God!
If they made this already, I think they're very likely to not care about the profits anymore and start putting the agenda first. Pixar may be then at that turning point. This may be a turning point movie.
Possibly, there's a good point. Yeah. When does a studio start going downhill? For animation, rather, because it's tough, because Pixar is gigantic. It's done so many content or so many videos that...
I mean, the animation is not the problem of the movie. That's not the issue.
Right.
The subject matter.
We can be divided about the Bean Morph style, but ultimately that is not the movie's problem.
All right. Here is JS. Thanks for the tip. There is a theory that worsening art styles, such as bean mouth and oversimplified logos, are the result of companies no longer having the actual talent needed to produce high-quality art due to hiring practices, HR, etc. Okay, that's a mixed bag, because oversimplified logos, you could argue, at least I would talk to designers, and they would tell you simpler is better. It takes me X amount of hours to figure something out. And that's why you don't get paid by the hour, because a really good designer will give you a really good logo in under an hour, but it took years and years to figure that out. So that's not a sign of bad education or bad creative thinking. It's just a way of being paid improperly, as opposed to being your own boss and saying, I'm going to give you a really good looking logo for $30,000, and then you own it. So with the art styles, that is... and we've talked about how art styles, like let's say The Incredibles, how it used to take months and months to render in like one simple scene of...
Still a fantastic movie.
Oh yeah, I know. I remember they talked about the scene where his shirt is being pulled or something, and that took like 3 months to re-render because something didn't look right or whatever at the time.
Oh, yeah.
So now we've gotten better, but just because 3D technology has gotten better doesn't mean we have to adhere to the same art styles. We're always obviously doing something new, different all the time. And Pixar is sort of the representation of 3D animation as what it can do current year. So
yeah,
that's a good thing.
Yeah, and I'd say if the problem is people who take lines like "simpler is better" as dogma, because they didn't get it.
It doesn't always work though.
It depends on context. It depends on what even is your company.
Yeah.
And many simplified logos just look like crap and indistinguishable from other simplified logos.
Just look at when Firefox simplified their logo. Jeez, what happened?
It just looks like you're flushing paint down a toilet.
Well,
which is metaphorically speaking very accurate about Firefox. But
I always look at the war between Pepsi and Coca-Cola. Coca-Cola has not changed their logo. I don't know. It's just a font. It's just a name. With Pepsi, they've changed it ever so slightly. It's virtually the same logo, but now it's like off to the side now. It looks like one of those balls I used to have as a kid. It was this rubber ball you would bounce, but it has a swirl in the white part. Like that's what it reminded me of. So every time I was playing whatever outside, I'd always think of getting thirsty. So, yeah. But it's just this. It's the same. Like honestly, they're virtually the same product. There's a slight difference in corn syrup and recipe, and by that it's super sweet, so you probably shouldn't be drinking it anyway. So it's just that recognition. When you see Coca-Cola, you know exactly the logo, and it's just that silly looking font, Coca-Cola. Whereas Pepsi is an actual icon, is a visual cue, and it's barely changed over the years. So
yeah, have I ever shown you the coat of arms of my hometown?
No.
We might have talked about it at some point.
Every province has their own, I know, in Canada. So.
Yeah, my hometown has one, and I think of course I'm biased, but I think it is the most awesome coat of arms of any town ever. Just posting it in the DM here, and they simplified that one day in the early 2000s. And made a new one that, for some reason, everybody hated, and it looks like this.
All right, I'm going to bring that up. What does that say? Stad Fürstenwald Spree.
Yeah, so Stadt means town. Fürstenwalde is the name of the town, and Spree is the river that's going through the town, because there are more than one Fürstenwalde in Germany.
I see.
That's the town I grew up in, and that's I think on stream.
Look like a kid drew it.
You only have the ugly one. That's the simplified logo that they officially adopted because. And this is done thanks to the left wing, to the socialists, because they love to eradicate all culture. Have you shown the original one?
This one.
The two above?
The second one looks like a kid made it.
It looks like a family crest, actually.
Yeah.
My family has something similar. Like, I don't know why, but a lot of European families have a crest, and then they have various iconography representing the years or the job or the kingdom. Like if you see a bird with a crown, it represents a kingdom of some sort. So apparently in my ancestry, there's a king and there was some story behind them. There's always all these old stories about hundreds and hundreds of years ago of our ancestors doing something. So they all look something like this. I've seen this on wine labels. I've seen this all throughout stores. You see a product of a family crest. Yeah, it's just very similar. And if you look at the flags of your states or your provinces, they have something very similar as well.
Yeah. So the old one. There's several versions of the old one, depending on where they etched it onto or where they drew it onto. Or I think the second one is also used as a stamp. Maybe that's why it's a bit more crude.
Right.
But I can't find a really big one right now. But it's this amazing thing with this big tree in the center, and there's this raven atop it with spread wings watching over it. Who the fuck has a raven in his crest? And the other two shields, the red eagle is the state coat of arms, and I forgot what the other one is. the one on the left.
Yep.
I forgot what the black on yellow is.
That's what European families did back in the day. They made this crest.
Yeah, and almost every place has one here. And this is the best. This is the most amazing one. I've never seen, like, most just have this, here's a shield with one thing on. And I have, if you know awesome coats of arms, awesome crests, send me links, send me pictures, because I have not yet ever seen again one with a big ass tree and a raven on it. It's just I just think it's beautiful. And there's a lot I hate about my hometown, but its coat of arms is amazing. I want that. If I go to war with that thing, I want that painted on my shield.
Okay, shield.
Shield.
Let's keep going. Here's JJJ Madness for the $20 super chat. Look out. Thank you, sir. This movie could save itself if it just made the red panda a metaphor for growing up and the stress that comes with it, rather than make it a blatant metaphor for women's eventuality bleeding in her snatch. Okay. Because it was so generic, it was like emotional. If you get emotional, you're going to turn into a panda. Like, that's kind of silly. If it was something specific like anger, then that would be cool, because then she'd have to control her anger, and that's a form of maturity. So once you learn to control your anger...
By the way, that's what was shown first in the promo material.
Oh, really?
Yep. From working off my memory.
Oh, okay.
The first thing that was shown to trigger the transformation was anger.
Yeah, now it's just everything.
From what I can recall.
Any strong emotion, which is like if you stub your toe, you're going to turn into a panda. It's like, what? So I think that is where we lose, because once you do that, you open up the entire story to, hey, you're a werebeast based off any emotion. You're like, oh, okay, that's scary as freaking hell. So anything, if you enjoy food, you're like, oh, this is so good, and then your mouth blows up into a panda. That'd be kind of weird. So to have this problem would turn you into a monk. Like, you would just literally become the most serene person, because the end result is you transforming and breaking things like the Hulk, only instead of anger, it's just anything, which is bizarre. So I think that...
Well, at least with the Hulk, they specify that it's a combination of emotional of stress, like anger, combined with adrenaline in the body.
Yeah, I mean, that's where this company or this storyline or these writers should have went to immediately and go, oh yeah, the Incredible Hulk did this back in the 60s, and this is how they did it. You're like, oh, okay, let's not do anger, let's do like lust, let's do affection, let's do anything different. Like, just do a different take on the Incredible Hulk and make it cute and make it for a little Asian girl or whatever, a girl coming up.
Yeah,
whatever. Yeah, give it a spin. We've seen the Hulk before, right? We want to do something new. So they could have done that, but instead they just make a generic emotion reaction to anything, which is kind of weird. So yeah, I would like to, like, this is what you do with your fantasy elements. You limit how they work. You don't just say anything like, any drop of water makes my skin ignite into flames. It's like, what?
Even here, I think it was just strong emotion, not any emotion.
Right, strong. Like, that's the problem.
Yeah.
Any strong emotion. Yeah,
being emotionally balanced, you can still enjoy things and everything, but like you're supposed to as an adult.
Right.
Not as a wild, unchecked kid forever. That's how you see. If you don't get your emotions into check, without any self-discipline, and if you lack the self-discipline, you will overindulge, and that is the best way. I probably sound like some preaching monk at this point. That's the easiest way to get to drugs.
Well,
so
I mean,
maybe in My Panda, My Choice 2. Yeah, they'll add a metaphor about doing drugs, and that's okay if you enjoy it. There's a logical consequence.
Alrighty. One more from Porcelinus the Fourth. Thank you. Turning Red has the same animation style as the terrible Grubhub commercial everyone hated. Also, it has really creepy pedophilic undertones.
Like that's
Yes.
uh,
Well, the whole making photos is part of that.
no, I get it. It's just again with making me uncomfortable about it.
You know,
Fucking hell.
if it makes you uncomfortable, you are a normal and decent person.
Yes.
You are well adjusted. If this movie makes you uncomfortable, you are well adjusted.
Yeah, watch some, read some reviews on blogs, the ones that I've read, and the people who did the reviews, they have family, whatever, because obviously they talk from experience. Their daughters were like, this is kind of weird. They didn't like the overbearing mother sometimes, and they didn't like the crazy kids that were obsessed with boys.
Yeah.
At 13.
Thank you,
Yeah,
thank you, normal people.
Yes, thank you, normal kids.
Yeah. So
I'm not just making that up. That thinking back how I was at that age, that was all cringe. This is disgusting. This is
this guy,
like when there were US cartoons that had similar topics on. It was like, this isn't. How is this entertainment? This is not funny. This is not fun to watch.
I'm still going to comment on this guy.
What's coming up next? Oh, DuckTales. Okay, let's sit through this shit and until DuckTales comes on.
He's got the 4-finger hands, and the eyebrows are above his hairline. It's like all this weird stuff. That's just, if he just changed like 2 things, I would be like, yeah, it's cute. Now it's like, you're an alien. You look like an alien.
Talking about turning red, and that's what you're getting hung up over.
Well, no, look at this. Look at this guy. Like his hairline is touching his eyeballs. His eyeballs.
I know what you're getting at. I've seen his videos for years.
It's driving me crazy. I'm like, dude, can you repaint your sprite for like 2 hours and fix them all? Anyway,
You wouldn't be able. Yeah, I know. You wouldn't be able to see his eyes through the glasses.
Take a note for the next time I obsess over some stupid detail like that and tease him out, because I will.
And we will
The time
promptly
will come.
shut up.
yeah. Well, it's like someone took the magic selection tool in Adobe Photoshop, and because he drew a line where glasses connect, that's where the magic tool stopped, and then he hit flood fill. That's what he did. And
I wouldn't be surprised.
That's how lazy he is. I'm like, dude.
Oh man, Jacob. I don't remember the scene, but I can imagine how it looked like. Jacob wrote, I haven't watched the movie, but I saw a frame of them all drinking pop. Whatever.
the one where they're like, I think I know what he's talking about.
And it continues, the looks on their faces might as well have been from alcohol. I almost thought it was until I read the can.
Yeah, well, this is a
Jacob, if you're in the Discord, please find that screen cap and put it in stream memes, please.
This is actually a common trope in Japanese manga as well as anime, where the girls drink things which are non-alcoholic, but they act all drunk. And it's even in Persona, which is bizarre. And the story makes a point of saying there is no alcohol, but all the girls are acting all flirty and bizarre. it's like, what is?
But it's just made worse given the context of this movie.
It's, I mean,
in anime, is that because of some? Is this some? Oh, it's fine. I'm 5,000 years old.
No. This is because the girls are so repressed and they don't want to show off their emotions, but because they think they're drinking alcohol, that therefore they're free to do so. So they're under some sort of third-party influence to do so.
Yeah, but they when they know it's not alcohol, that doesn't work.
I don't get it either. I don't know. The other stories that do involve alcohol, which is like Nisekoi, where they have like a chocolate bonbon, which has like brandy or whatever, they still go crazy horny, but then they fall asleep after like 10 minutes. They just collapse. They forget everything. What happened? I don't remember. So it shows that women are really bad at drinking and forget.
Which is objectively true.
I guess. I don't know.
Yeah, they don't metabolize it as well.
I know, but it's a bit over the top. Like a little chocolate bonbon. Like, give me a break. Come on. I've gone out with girls who drank a lot, and they were fine. So anyway,
It depends from which country they are.
I guess, yeah. I don't know.
Get a German girl, she might be able to drink more beer than you. Get a Polish girl, she might down more vodka than you will ever imagine exists in the world.
The Polish I could believe. The German girls, maybe. I have to meet a few.
Yeah, but beer compared to in your country.
Oh God, I could drink 3 or 4 beers from Canada. It wouldn't bother anyone.
Well, that as well, probably.
Yeah, it wouldn't bother me. So. But yeah, no. You'd have to go to an actual bar that knows what they're doing and making good drinks. So anyway, that was a good guy.
That remains to be seen, and it varies wildly. But to me, it felt very good to watch this movie and be like, oh God, thank you. All the craziness leading into this film was unnecessary. It was stupid. And there are moments.
You're stupid because you don't think the same way as me. It's like, thanks. Thank you. It's very nice justifying your position like that and calling us stupid. That's great.
That's where I do. And I'm like, what if it was fabricated? What if this was a marketing ploy? What if these companies...
What if your subjective opinion does not coincide with everyone else? What about that?
...knew that easy to rile up and get us thinking about that's made up? I don't know. Makes me wonder. It's not out of the realm of possibility. There was that one whistleblower for Facebook who was like, hey, by the way, this website is designed to stir the pot, to create controversy and fighting in order to generate traffic. And it's like, oh no.
Unless, of course, you post stuff that's true and they don't want you to read it and they delete your posts. So, yeah, that happened all past 2 years. So,
yeah, the only controversial stuff that's posted and allowed is anything pro extreme left wing. That is constantly posted, allowed, stirred up, and said, "Oh, it's controversial. The controversial opinion is then the one that is opposing the absolute extreme fringe, insane view."
Yeah, this is why.
Which is already gaslighting.
This is why we have, what was it, Truth Social and Getter and all these other alternative sites to go to for news, because the big 4 or 5 social media outlets are cutting out. If you say anything about COVID, you're gone. You say anything about, I don't know, the war on Ukraine being whatever, you might be gone.
We have a of our horrible socialist Green Party, that is the pseudo environmentalist.
Yeah.
A minister, I think the one for IT stuff. She posted a not an article, a, what do you call that? A clip from a show and from an information show, an actual documentary show, of the official state TV channel, the publicly funded, like
right.
What you have the BBC for.
Exactly.
About a certain health issues, medicines problems. And Facebook told her she should be careful what she posts. And then she was outraged. She was baffled completely, because this is state media. How can Facebook tell me that I'm posting conspiratory stuff? Oh, and started to wake up a little that maybe because her party's advocating for all this shit, for all this censorship, while calling itself liberal, of course, because censorship is liberal nowadays. Is now a bit. Let's say questioning, which is what the Q stood for one time in the LGBTQ. Interestingly enough, so maybe she's queer now that she's questioning things. I don't know. Yeah, but and her party is not happy with her, that she complains about Facebook's censorship measures, because it's just a note that you should not spread misinformation. And she got back in, what the fuck are you talking about? This is from the state media, an official investigation based on hard documents and everything. And now it's like, yay, the left is eating itself again.
Well, this is the argument they always would, or the excuse is, well, if the government is not doing it, then it's not censorship. That's the official definition. So
Yeah, no, but it's a wrong definition.
I know if a private company is doing it, they
It's
can
still
do it.
censorship.
Definition should be updated then.
Yeah, it's censorship is censorship. It doesn't matter who does it.
Well, lawyers these days will tell you
There's tons
otherwise.
of ways to do it. There are soft ways to do it. In order to go, there are certain types of nudging that are essentially censorship because they are trying to put as we say in German, they're trying to put scissors in your head, which means you start to self-censor about what you say and what you don't, and how you formulate things. This is how you get to newspeak. This is all this nonsensical. It starts with this nonsensical bleeping out of curse words in adult TV on websites, like as if somehow this isn't content for children. Why the fuck are you worried about children reading any of this? They're not supposed to be there anyway in the first place. They're not supposed to watch. Children are not supposed to watch Jerry Springer. Where are the parents? That's the question. Where are the parents?
All right, let us keep on going.
Well, we all know parents have been becoming more and more shit since at least the 90s.
Yeah, but this is the 90s. Oh God! If only you knew how bad things are.
All right. Anyway,
I'm not saying they were bad before that. I'm just saying it's like it got the current wave of bad parenting started in the 90s.
Okay. Anyway, let's keep going. Here's JJJ Madness again for the 5. It's really creepy how all the Cal Art Bean Mouth style shows always have some creepy metaphor for sex in kids' shows.
Really?
Not all the time, but I could see how you might see it that way. It is a bit strange. The Steven Universe is the big one, I think.
That one definitely.
Yeah, I think so.
I'm not watching enough of the others.
Yeah, I know.
I don't want to find out.
The allegory is like, it's a bit okay. Yeah, whatever.
Yeah, when you start to see the red flags early, you're just gonna avoid stuff.
Yeah,
it's the same with when you learn through the relationship game. Like, what are the red flags to look out for, so that you can just save yourself the pain and keep looking for a less red flaggy person.
Yeah, I would imagine a kid or a young guy who's watching this stuff going, well, I don't really care about all these metaphors and crap. I just want to know what the hell these girls, like these mother figures are and what they do. Like, I'd be curious to learn what happens to them. Like, what's their goal? What's their plot? Because it's so kind of magical nonsense stuff happening. And you're like, okay, this is weird. But where are they going with it? I'd be curious about the end goal of the story, not the story itself, like what the message is. So that's what I would see someone intelligent watching a show like that who's a kid going, that's weird. What's going on there? Anyway, 2 minutes and a half.
Are we being played? Are we playing right into their hands? Whatever. Okay, let's just go to the movie itself. Maybe one day I'll do a video about like the entire relationship between marketing and then the movie or show that it's about, but I'll save that for another time. Turning Red is a film that takes place in the early 2000s. It's about May, a Chinese Canadian who lives in Toronto. And by the way, I gotta say, it taking place in the early 2000s makes me feel ancient, because so often I'm like, this movie takes place in 1940s or 1600s, or it's a fictional time as far as like Wall-E goes.
Oh man, it makes me look to feel like a geezer.
But for this to actually be like Tamagotchis, boy bands, flip phones, I'm like, oh no, I was the same age as these characters during this time. Oh no, I'm getting old. It just happens to all of us. But the movie itself, it's about May and her mother and the dynamic between them. That's the setup. Right out the gate, May even says, setting the table for us, that your parents, you owe them everything, that they are a supreme being that gave you life, that you obey them without question, and you try to please them. And that makes it abundantly
Beings,
clear that this is a
plural.
movie about a mother and a daughter, about their back and forth, about trust and communication, obedience, love. These are themes that to me, I'm like, yeah, I see that. Being a human, growing up as a teenager, even to this very moment, back and forth, these emotions, I feel that. I can relate to it. All right, Pixar, you have my attention. Let's go. And we see how May, our main character, is a go-getter. She is a rise and grind Sigma mind, and she gets it. And I know a lot of folks at first were like, oh, the beginning of the movie concerned me. It was too much. It was overwhelming. And I feel that. So I'm like, wow, they're really coming at you. Oh, deliberately. They're assaulting you with activities, with how this girl is so active. School activities as far as like music, math, extracurriculars, because that's her lifestyle. Always coming at you because she's a go-getter, an A student.
No, she is obnoxious and annoying. And I would not want to be around her because she is completely... I don't even have a word for how random and uncontrolled she is.
It seems to be
She's the prime candidate for if she was 10 years older and she will still be acting like this, and she will be indistinguishable from someone with borderline.
Well,
she may not have it, but she's acting as if.
I think this is the whole point of to set her up as this comedic, over-the-top girl who's so into stuff and so go-getting attitude, and then she has this obstacle that's part of her family and she has to learn to deal with it. But instead of learning to deal with it, she just keeps going and gets emotional. And yeah, she has her breakdown here and there, but she just keeps going with it. And it's like, oh, okay, I guess it doesn't matter to her mom as much. Or her mom is not as strict as she should be, which is weird. If it was more like a family secret and you could do this only at home sort of deal, and then she'd learn to control like that. That's what I wanted. I wanted to see something about her that wasn't just goofy and over the top. I wanted it to be, oh, now I have to grow up. And I don't think we ever get that.
A timer makes sense. Oh, and by the way, as I said earlier, this movie is about a culture that doesn't really get that much in the limelight. And it's so exotic to me.
Are you trying to tell me
You're an idiot.
The
Just
Chinese...
you have the internet.
You're an oblivious idiot.
Do you think the Chinese, the largest country in the world, I think, by population, does not get enough limelight? You don't think there's enough Asian people in the world, in every country?
You can get some Chinese movies and series with subtitles.
I think we have 3 or 4 boroughs in Toronto. Or
my dude, the old Mulan.
Yeah, I know, but I'm talking like I'm
talking to him.
in Toronto. Like, when she was walking down that street, I'm like, oh, that's Spadina. That's our famous Chinatown area, downtown Toronto. But that's one street. We have like entire towns connected to the GTA, which are Asian community. If you go north of Steeles, that is a combination of mostly Asian and some Italian, Spanish here and there, but huge Asian population. So I don't know where in the boonies this guy lives. He's never seen Asians around. They're everywhere. And that's not bad or good. That's just reality. So
yes,
that's just he's
making himself look more and more like a whitey for every second.
Yeah, he's a bit ignorant of the world. Yeah, I don't know.
He probably doesn't even know anything about the culture where he's coming from, where his parents come from.
Yeah.
To go to their land, to see what they're about, to see their people and their history and their faith, and I'm just like, wow.
Watch a documentary. You're literally describing what you get from a documentary.
I would just say go for a walk 200 meters in any direction. You're gonna find an Asian.
Is this guy from Toronto?
No way. Are you kidding? No way.
He's just not leaving his mother's basement.
Smud feels insulted.
Are you kidding? I grew up around not every ethnicity, but Asians for sure. So this is the 80s. I'm an old boy. So Asians were around in the 80s, the 70s, the 60s. They were around, and they populated a lot of places. And good for them. They're great people, great culture, all kinds of huge cuisines. I haven't even tried half of them yet. They're everywhere. In every metropolis, you're going to find lots of Asians. So
You've got a beautiful super chat.
Oh, I do?
Yes.
Alrighty. It's JJJ Madness again for the super chat. I have none of these people heard of Jackie Chan from the 70s.
Followed by Joe Crazy mentioning the animated Mulan, and then Matthias mentioning Kung Fu Panda.
Yeah, or Bruce Lee, all those Hong Kong flicks, cinema rather, very well known. And obviously he was born later in life, but okay, dude, you know.
Bruce Lee is the poster child for Chinese representation in entertainment.
For Hong Kong movie. Yeah.
Sofa King, I am mature in the chat just wrote wonderful username. Just wrote, I cannot speak for the current generation, but Asian films, especially fighting ones, have always dominated American culture. Most people know Bruce Lee, but don't know his movies.
Right. They know
I can see
enough.
that.
They know that there's reference, and they know the influence that the Hong Kong cinema and Asian cinema and Bollywood, like all these Asian influences.
It's like knowing who Mike Tyson is, but never having seen a boxing match.
Yeah, like I don't know how much money Bollywood turns in, but I think it's more than Hollywood. Like it's gigantic. So
There's a gigantic market to feed to.
Yeah, it's not that big of a surprise to me personally.
Yeah, like I don't know half, let alone a few, of all these big names in India and China, but I do know some things from China because I do have a Chinese family, and they share with all the stories of Hong Kong, and when they go to visit, and they go on trips to Japan and Singapore, and they go around. So I pick up news. It's not unheard of. But I'm special that way because my brother married a Chinese girl. So that's that. Not everyone's the same. But I bet you on the street you live on, you're going to find an Asian. It doesn't matter if it's Northern India, Sri Lanka, China, Japan, who knows. You're going to get some Asian influence there.
Absolutely.
All right. JS, thank you. Second highest grossing movie of 2021 was Battle at Lake Changjin. It's a movie entirely made in China for Chinese release only about how the Chinese army BTFO'd the Americans during the Korean War.
Oh, propaganda movies.
You never know. I don't know.
They're big in China.
I would check that out just to see.
It's sometimes pretty cringy.
You know what? It doesn't really matter whether it's American or Asian or whatever. It's always like, oh, hoorah, country fighting the evil other country. Like, okay, but give me my Japanese anime fighting robots in space. That's more interesting.
Japanimation.
So fucking continues. Asian films were a staple in Black American homes in the 80s. There is even a black parody of an Asian fighting film.
I think my teachers from South America, they talked about all the bootleg Japanese films coming in.
Are you talking about Black Dynamite?
No, that's blaxploitation films.
You can have both. You can genre mix.
Well, I don't know what they picked up, like what they took from the black market back then. I think those were American made. So I think they already had access to that. But South America, they were getting imports from the East. So you got Hollywood stuff, Hong Kong stuff. You got obviously Bruce Lee and all this Japanese anime that no one had ever heard of or seen, which was awesome. And as you know, that's how Japanese anime made it to America, bootlegs. So,
and Toonami.
That wasn't a thing yet.
Yeah, I don't think that existed.
Eventually, Toonami. Eventually.
Yeah. All right, the Giga Chat. Hey, Giga, how you doing? Let's be real, guys. Like most cartoon YouTubers, he probably lives in an all-white suburb, and they're always so impressed with movies casting minorities because they've personally never seen them. I don't know.
Oh,
It sounds like does sound like the most likely explanation.
Yeah, I really
Like
don't
that
know.
these people are obsessed with other races, which is honestly racist.
It's a bit weird.
Like it's like a Chinese man, it's so amazing. Look, can I touch your hair? Or a black woman, the black woman, can I
Whoa.
touch your hair?
I can understand.
and so on and
I
so
can
on.
I can sum it up as, "Oh, you're different."
I can understand people obsessing.
Ginger.
I can understand back in the day people obsessing over American culture because Americans are awesome because they had, during the 80s they had all these amazing stuff coming out. But I do realize that people like Japanophiles exist because Japan is now the guys up on top making all the amazing media of the world. So it's not just anime, it's everything. It's technology, it's cars, it's home appliances, it's toilets, it's everything you could think of. They are just pushing the limits. It's the same with Germany. They have a lot of amazing appliances too. In the automotive industry, for sure. In warfare.
Hello.
Yeah. Yeah, Germany is amazing in engineering. So there's this amazing balance.
Yeah, but just our military isn't getting any of that.
Well, I know, but we see these planes and they're from Germany. You're like, holy shit, that's what NATO has? That's amazing if they ever go to war, which I hope they don't.
We all hope they don't.
Yeah, so there's all this wonderful technology coming out and culture coming out of these countries. And I understand.
Wonderful war machines.
Yeah, I got to admit.
Those wonderful toys.
This was 15 years ago, and I saw these documentaries of what was coming out. I'm like, holy shit, this stuff's amazing. It's like Lego. It's just for tanks.
What a comparison.
It's like, this is real life Lego. Like, holy crap, yeah. And Germany did that.
On the note of cars, I recently learned that Tesla built a factory in my home state.
Oh, boy.
And against lots of protest from the locals, mowed down a forest for it and built it on a drinking water protection reservoir.
Oof.
Nice.
And they got it. They started building before they even got the permit, and the permit was like on high speed. They got the permit on high speed, but still started building before they got it.
Yeah.
And it was pushed through by the left and the Green Party. The Green Party is for mowing down forests and building factories on drinking water protection reservoirs.
Yeah. What's the
like the stuff where you are not allowed to even walk on?
what's the service for not taxis, but same idea? It's a private taxi service. Like we have Uber in North America. I think you guys have something called Lyft, or
I think we have. I don't know. We rather have private taxi competition companies.
right. Like that's
as well.
That's been the big thing. That's why we have all these options for food delivery and grocery delivery and fast food. It's just because everyone who's not a taxi driver is moonlighting as an Uber Eats, an Uber driver, and there's all these stages of Uber. There's Uber Black. There's if you have a
that's
really,
racist.
If you have a certain service to put people to the or drive people over to the various airports. They put you in a different class. If you have to have all these standards, it's very much like a taxi service, but it's privately owned. So you have to take care of that yourself. You have to be checked. You have to take photos, submit them to the head office, all this junk. So this has become the new way of men, at least, who own cars, of course, to make another living, because it's so expensive nowadays to live in the city. And all these people who are immigrants coming to, for example, Toronto, are going, oh, yeah, we can't live here. We got to move out. So, unless you want to be a taxi driver of some kind. So, anyway, one more super chat, and then we'll get going. Turmoil, thank you for the 2. I haven't seen an Asian until I was 13. Wow.
Jesus.
That is very cloistered, sir.
Without the Vietnamese restaurant at the corner across from my school, I would have starved through the last years of school.
Yeah.
That man saved my life. And he always made these really, really big portions, and had this really good hot sauce.
Yep.
And he always gave me extra fried onions.
Lots of great.
I love that little corner restaurant.
Lots of great. There's so many great. I would say Asian in general, but definitely Chinese food in Toronto for just every corner. You got options up your ass. They're so cheap and they're pretty tasty. So can't go wrong. Okay, almost 5 minutes.
Canadians are so cool.
Oh my god. Anyway,
Is he gay?
I don't know. This is weird.
Maybe that's why he likes the movie.
They got Tim Hortons. No, it's
I
a
hope he's
Chinese
not gay.
family in Toronto, which is an actual thing. I watched the
Yes, there are Chinese
What?
in Toronto. Thank you, sir. Oh my god. You
This guy
know,
is
there's Africans in Italy.
cringy.
You know, there's Asians in Northern Ireland.
the documentary for Turning Red. It's called Embrace the Panda. It's on Disney Plus. Not paying me to say that, but it's still good for background if you want to learn more about the movie.
No.
It features the folks who made the film, the director, the writer, Do-Mi, and her upbringing. Pixar always preaches write what you know, which is a good motivation, a good
So
rule
she
to go
knows
with.
sexual
period.
exploitation as
But
a-
for her,
as a child?
she is Chinese American. She is an immigrant. Her family transplanted from China to Toronto.
Yeah, Toronto is a
He's
land.
definitely gay.
Everyone
He's
in
definitely
Toronto
gay.
is an immigrant. That's fantastic. I'm glad you realize this. Everyone. It doesn't matter.
Damn colonizers! Damn Chinese colonizers!
Even my Ukrainian family who moved to Alberta eventually immigrated to Toronto. So it's they're all immigrants. Everyone is.
Exist outside of China and be in a bubble in Toronto. That's interesting to me.
Okay, guys, this is very simple. America is a melting pot. Canada is a quilt, okay? You go to America, you learn the language, you acclimate, you get the pledge your allegiance to the flag or whatever. You're American. You speak the language.
Yes.
Canada, no one gives a shit. You speak your own language and no one cares. So long as you get your high school diploma and you have your driver's license, it's fine.
Canada's like, fuck off.
We don't care. Whatever. That's Canada. I'm sorry to say that's how Canada is. I wish it wasn't that way. Unless you're in Quebec, then it's different. Then you have to learn French. So they're very strict on that. But in the rest of Canada, you barely have to learn English, if at all.
All right, sorry. I'm obviously rambling here. May here is a go-getter. And as I said before, she set the table for us as far as her obeying her parents, her mom and her father. Her mother here is definitely the matriarch of the family. She calls the shots. There's a power dynamic between her and her daughter and even her husband, as we later see in the film where the husband's quiet, reserved, occasionally speaks up, only to fall back in line.
Okay, if you're married to a girl like this, yes, it's a very wise learning lesson early on in your relationship to shut the hell up. Okay.
Yeah, and the mother's very active. She gets everything done, and he just has to fill in the blanks.
That's it.
That's okay. That's a good marriage is this dynamic creating a whole that is in harmony.
That's one way to put
And
it.
that's at weird as it looks here,
Sure.
because she's very dominant. It does work.
Yeah.
This is not strangely enough, because she maybe she's supposed to come off like that, but she is not abusive.
Right.
Usually when we see this kind of dynamic portrayed, the dominant part, whether it's the mother or the father, is an abusive type, but not in this relationship. In this relationship, it works. They are supporting each other.
In most scenarios, socially, not in terms of marriage or whatever, the male learns very early on to learn not to say anything. And one of the famous lines from my aunt and uncle is happy wife, happy life. And my uncle just nods his head. He goes, yes. He has his wine and his golf, and he's happy. Everything else, he doesn't care. He's like, yeah, whatever.
Yeah, it's just that you need to learn the difference between when your wife is just a bit eccentric and when your wife is an actual psychopath that you should get the hell away from.
That should be figured out rather soon, I think.
Yeah, but it's the guys that don't figure this out are the guys without any experience of what a healthy relationship looks like.
Yeah, I guess. I don't know.
I've seen it a few times. It is heartbreaking.
I have met some fellows who really nice guys. They want to be with their kids, and their wives are just nutballs. They're just crazy, and they can't change them. There's nothing you can do. So, and they end up breaking up because the wives are too controlling. But this is not that story. This looks fine.
It's the mother. She calls all the shots. She's the one who orchestrates not the faith, but the entire way the family goes about itself, like the temple, watching over the...
Yeah, but in her case, she is really justified about everything she's doing. Because this family has a very special secret that it has to take very special care of, and the husband is the supporting part of this.
Right, and this makes sense because this is the mystery of the story. It's like, why is the mother so controlling? And then we go, oh, every daughter has this problem, including the mom. I guess the mom still has it. So this is the issue of why and how. And once we reveal that, this should then take center stage, and the personality of the mother should come out as explanation, as exposition, as a conflict, as a boundary that the daughter has to fight against. And you still get the dynamic of, mother being in charge. It just doesn't go the way you'd expect with a story that is of this nature. Like, imagine you could suddenly teleport, right? And then your mom says, oh, this is a secret that we've had every generation of every daughter, and we can't share it or else it'll change the world or whatever. And you're like, no, I'm going to go party. I'm going to go hang out with boys. And you start teleporting into like boys' bathrooms. Like, what the fuck? Like that would be really, really bad as a story goes. If it ends on that note, you'd be like, oh, that's weird. She just teleports wherever she wants now, and goes to parties and goes to the Skydome and hangs out with her friends and steals pizza or whatever, and she just teleports over. It's like, oh, that's not cool. So, yeah.
Temple, hosting visitors and tours, and May's part of that. She follows her mother's orders, and it seems like it's a case of where it's not against her will, but she willingly does it. Now, out of her being excited about it or out of guilt, I think it's a combination. And as the movie goes,
who's feeling guilty? The daughter's feeling guilty for what? Going along with their mom's temple? Okay, I never got...
I was distracted, sorry.
Yeah, I don't think she feels guilt. I don't think that's it at all. Guilt is very specific. You would have a certain reaction to feeling guilt and thinking it and moping and coping with that. I just don't see that with the daughter.
You do realize, oh, it is out of guilt, out of obligation. By the way, spoilers. I want you all to know that. I want you all to know this is a movie about becoming a teenager, about having those hormones rush through your body, and you feel like...
What is he rush through your body? He's like, dude, can you speak normally?
No, he's gay.
I'm getting that vibe. Something's up when you start talking about hormones rushing through your body. It's like,
Jimmy, I thought at first I thought it's just a minor thing, but the inflection,
yeah,
this gay scene inflection, because for some weird reason they all talk like this. It's getting through more. The more emotional he gets.
Yeah,
his panda is showing.
Oh God. Well, at least she has nice looking hair. His hair is attached to his eyelids.
Teenage child, because we've all been there. Well, There might be some viewers who are on their way, strap in. Hormones make you think, feel, say all kinds of things, and a lot of it is chaos. And that's what's going on here. It's called Turning Red. It's about a red panda. It's about how May turns into a red panda when her emotions are out of check. The story goes that apparently this temple with a family
so you
hosts
get
this
that it's
lady.
related.
According to the mother, it's like this lady who had these 2 daughters, and in ancient China, she prayed for protection, and the gods granted her this gift of being able to turn to a giant red panda in order to defend her family from raiders, because all the men were off like fighting a war. So now she has this gift to turn into a giant red panda and defend her family. But as time went on, it became more of an inconvenience, according to the mother. And that's where we are, where it's like, oh gosh, the daughter here, May, is going crazy with this power. She doesn't know what's just happening. And it's all, an allegory. It all represents puberty. To go from an obedient child to a raging, hormonally charged teenager. The dynamic between the mother and the daughter now being challenged, where she's turning into a giant.
No, but look, the way she acts there after her panda starts is the exact same way that she acted before. She is a hyper and emotional kid. And she's still a hyper and emotional kid after her panda is starting. Her puberty is done. It's just, there's no difference between before and after.
This is the problem I have with the story. It's like, hey, it's the same person. Like, oh, okay. That doesn't.
Whoops.
It doesn't really change the dynamic.
Yeah, that's why it doesn't really work as just, it's just puberty. No.
Yeah, puberty should change a bit more than personality, more than just facial hair and skull size.
I mean, the only thing we get from that is when she does her hentai drawings of guys in her notebook and does all the most weird, disgusting, obsessive, manic faces that you can see on anyone. When people make those faces, stay away from them. They are crazy.
Someone find that screen cap too and put it in stream memes.
All right.
Oh God, no.
Here's their fantastic Mr. Fox. Okay. When he said, rush through your body, it made me crave a shower in white phosphorus. And Mei Lin is in an Asian family. What she feels guilty about is the fact that she's not a brain surgeon at age 7. Oh.
Possible.
Yeah, you only have one PhD? Yeah, she's
in 4th grade.
She's already.
You bring shame upon us.
She's already.
What am I supposed to tell my neighbors?
She's already amazing at everything, except maybe sports. But it's fine. It's not a big deal.
Why you no doctor? I'm only 7. Dad, come back with your doctor.
Yeah.
Red panda. The way the panda looks cute. I love the design. It's.
Yes,
so wonder how much of this is taken into account where it's like, pandas, Kung Fu Panda, China. Can we sell this film to China?
Go away.
Probably.
Yeah,
no.
Disney's always expecting.
The Chinese will kill you.
You can.
That's literally the entire point of this movie's existence in the first goddamn place, be honest.
I don't know how well it would do.
The Chinese will hate this movie. It is because it is against everything that the Chinese state currently preaches to its people.
Let me check. It says, I just read a review right now. It says, came out yesterday, Pixar's Turning Red is also controversial in China for different reasons, though. Interesting.
Different? What are the different reasons?
It has lingered.
I can imagine it's the very reasons that I have problems with.
The film's characters and its depiction of puberty and periods have ignited debates around representation and relatability in North America. However, many Asian Americans felt seen and resonated with the struggles of Maya, a 13-year-old caught between filial piety and self-actualization.
That's bullshit. I call bullshit on that line. This whole felt represented and feeling seen. This is not how a normal person writes. This is how a propagandist writes.
Some viewers have less positive opinions of the film, questioning whether the narrative does a fair job reflecting today's Chinese culture. Well, it's not supposed to.
Oh, no.
It's supposed to be immigrants in Toronto. That's fine. Many years have passed.
From 20 years ago.
Well, sure. Chinese people, honestly, there's not much difference. It's just, Toronto has not changed that much. Chinese people didn't change a bit in the eyes of Americans. I don't know if I should feel sorry for China or the U.S. The U.S.? This is Canada. What the fuck? The film once again shows that overseas Chinese people have different experiences and stories from people in China. That's obvious. I also felt these differences when I watched The Farewell, referencing the critically lauded second film from Chinese-American director Lulu Wang. Another user wrote, Mei is cute, but her mother, aunts, and grandmothers are so stereotypical, and the Chinese elements in this film feel weird and forced. Yes, that's true.
Uh-huh.
But that's every American-made film depicting other non-Americans.
Yeah.
So
what is China's problem with the movie again?
that's what I'm reading. As for the film's visuals, it's too cute and so adorable, referring to the giant red panda that Mei transformed into whenever she experiences strong emotion. Fan art and memes depicting characters in the film have also circulated on the forum from China. It's their understanding of Chinese culture is different than and stereotypical, which makes
What is the red?
That makes me wonder.
What is the red panda? The new Winnie the Pooh? The fuck?
Oh God.
Well, the depictions of classic tiger moms are obviously a lot different in actual China, so that makes perfect sense.
Yeah, in actual China, they're probably worse.
I don't know. I really don't know, but it's different to them, which is fair. They would have very specific examples of family, and all the other family members are very stereotyped. But that's what you expect in these kinds of stories. You expect stereotypes to be a certain way. So I'm fine with that.
But that's why I started to wonder. Does anyone know what actual African reactions were to Black Panther?
I don't know.
Only North.
Because I could imagine it's either complete love or absolute cringe.
Yeah, I think when we saw those depictions of people dancing outside the movie theaters, the Black Americans, because
That had to be fake.
I don't
Yeah,
know.
that was no. I believe that those people are retarded. But what I wonder is
Careful with that word after tomorrow.
I mean Africans in Africa. The people that live there, that have that culture, and that of which many say, when you ask them what do you think of Black Americans, of African Americans, they say, oh, we sold all the bad ones. So I would wonder what do they think of this Wakanda bullshit, because I'm just thinking of that scene where they all stand there with their magical cloths that then summon these magical energy shields somehow, and for no reason they open the shields again and close them again and make this stupid choreography. And
I mean, even as far,
it just looks stupid.
I mean, even back in the '60s when Black Panther was created, Wakanda was technologically advanced, but not that much.
All right. Here is JJJ Madness one more time.
Not to this extent.
Every time Disney has attempted to simp for China, it always becomes an utter disaster. I don't know if this is a disaster. I just think that
it's because
it wasn't designed for Chinese audiences, even if it's about a Chinese kid.
Yeah, but they are trying because they do want that market so badly.
Yep.
That's why they cut out stuff from Western movies they make, like the Star Wars things. The thing is that these weird socialists that want to push this agenda down our throats, no matter what, and then wonder why it doesn't sell here, they then cut some of these things out in the hopes that it works on the Chinese market, who also don't want these things, by the way. So they are socialists, but of a different kind. And I think the way it looks to me is that the US filmmakers go about this in, oh, look, we have an Asian person in this movie. You must like this now, Chinese people. Oh, we have this red panda thing that you like so much, Chinese people. Don't you like our movie now? Oh, we have your ancient building style now. Do you like this now, Chinese people? They do not understand that the Chinese also care about the writing, the actual content of the story. Maybe in a bit different way, maybe they have another focus, but they also care about not being insulted. Just like us. and they just fail because they think they just need to dangle these visuals in front of them, and then it works. Like some, you like Transformers, right? Here, have some meaningless transformations that you can't even make out what's happening, and weird sounds and lots of explosions. You like this, right, American viewer? You like this, right? You don't
Fuck
need a
Michael
real
Bay
story
for that, by the
behind
way.
it.
Fuck Michael Bay for those movies, by the way.
Yeah, but that's what I mean. Like, they think they can just make shit and everyone will eat it. Like, you need to at least pass a basic threshold of shit for people to actually accept your shit.
Yeah.
And it's just because Halo came out. Oh God. We live in these wonderful, very close together years where they're now going through every franchise, book and video game, and turning it into a series that has nothing to do with the original material, and they are proud of ignoring the original material.
What? The joke about Halo
And-
that these showrunners did not even look at the game when making the series.
Yeah,
But it's
they're
true,
proud of it.
though.
They are proud of it. It's the same with any other thing they're ruining.
Can you imagine
And-
anyone doing that? It's like, we're going to base it off a video game by not looking at the video game. You're like, what?
How do you base something on? How do you make a show about something that you work on for 9 years and you come up with a script that is so devoid of anything that has to do with it? It is it is actively doing the opposite of what the
It's so bad it's so bad they made it a separate timeline. I'm just like, what?
Are there separate timelines in Halo?
It's well, now.
So no. The answer is no.
All right.
Because if you say yes, then you say this thing is something acceptable.
Here is
Well, it will just disappear in nothingness.
here's
It better
What I wanted to
disappear.
say is this,
Fuck that.
what is similar about this is that look here, we have the logo of your thing here and some props from the thing you like. You must like the show, right? You will like the show, right? And
No.
then they just, yeah, exactly. That's the point, and they don't get it.
All right, here is Winnie the Jew. Hey, thanks. If the monster was a metaphor for puberty and the anxieties that come with it, would it make more sense if the monster looked terrifying? Like if she turned into a skinwalker or something, would it be a more accurate metaphor? Okay, you don't want to scare kids away, right? You want it to be, I guess, if you want to be terrifying, you have to do it certain style. So the artist would have to really tone down what that would be. And you could do that. You could do elements of like anxiety, for example, and it looks like a werewolf or whatever. But you'd have to tone it down. But you could totally do something like that. That would make more sense because people would identify this negative emotion with this scary creature, and you go, oh, okay, that makes sense. And then they'd be fighting the scary creature because they are the scary creature, and they tone it down. They take a deep breath. They think things through. That would work. It would be kind of fun to have all these different creatures pop up out of your emotions that are negative. So what was that show or that animation with all the emotions in someone's head?
Inside Out.
Inside Out, yeah, something like that along those lines. It's only one character, and it would be one very good actor who could do all these emotions very well. So, would be cool, yeah. All right, 8 minutes in. Why is he talking about Disney? Okay, anyway, it doesn't matter.
Expanding their markets, wanting to get that dosh, and I'm certain that's the case. I'm certain that Disney takes into account because international markets can be highly impactful of the success of a film. And when you look at Kung Fu Panda in China, it did the numbers big time. And maybe Disney was
Kung Fu Panda was good.
Yeah.
All 3 movies were great. That is an insult to Kung Fu Panda to compare that to this.
That's all it takes. A good film, a good story, a good character. That's it. They'll watch it.
He's superficial. He only cares about, this looks like the other thing. It's not about it looks like the other thing. It's the story.
He's excited because it has...
This movie is shit.
He's excited because it has immigrants in a foreign land like America he's never been to, which honestly, guys, just go on Wikipedia, read a little bit about Toronto. It's a multicultural society. We have so many cultures here. It's not a big deal. We all get along, relatively speaking, until the past 5 years we started killing each other with guns more than New York. But that's, whatever.
Yeah.
That happens.
Why can you on one side like immigrants in a foreign land and find that awesome, and on the other side hate colonialism, where you have immigrants going to a foreign land and meet the locals? Because that's the same thing. You go to a new land for opportunities.
Sure.
To have a better life. It's the same thing.
The problem is you have like people with PhDs from India in like forestry or whatever, and they can't get a job. There's no jobs in that field. So they have to either become a taxi driver and do what they can to get by, or they got to move. And it's very, like, there is, if you want to get into forestry or certain specific jobs for the government or this or that, you have to come from Ontario. There's a waiting list. And then once that's filled up, then sure, yeah, they'll take in immigrants and they'll take in whomever. So all these specialized jobs, they're in demand, but they will hire Ontario first or whatever first, and then look to external help. I don't know if that's good or bad. That's just how it goes. So, and it's
that's fair.
I don't understand the industry or all the industries that you could apply to and specialize in. So, but with teaching, it's so crazy. It is insane. If you're a teacher, just get out of Ontario. Just go north, go really far north, you'll get a job, or just go to Europe and teach English or something. It's not a good idea to graduate and work in Ontario. It's so hard. It's so complicated. And you're on a waiting list for years and years. It's no way to live your life.
Jesus.
Yeah, it's I don't know. It's ever since the woke craze of intersectionality into our, what is it, the Ontario Teachers College. There's two organizations, and they have just dominated what you see in universities like U of T these days. That's what Jordan Peterson was talking about 10 years ago. You noticed that? So it's been a big issue. Well, not in terms of politics, but in terms of just getting a job. And that's why maybe it's spread out more, because they've been moving around outside of Canada. Who knows? Couldn't tell you. But people are waking up saying this is going crazy. These politics aren't working. And I think the world is waking up. But that's outside of this conversation.
Hoping for the same thing with Turning Red. It's Chinese. That's relatable. About families. That's relatable. Red pandas. Ooh, that's pretty good. Just keep the gay stuff, on the DL, which I won't get into, but there was some letter written from Pixar to Disney corporate being like, yeah, can you stop removing all the gay stuff from our movie? We kind of want to tell these stories. And Disney's like, yeah, no, yes,
gay stuff?
Maybe? I don't know. Which one pays us more?
What is this guy talking about?
Can you form coherent sentences, please? Because your chat with yourself is incomprehensible.
Is he saying?
Are you talking about you want gay stuff in your movie about 13-year-olds? Are you a pedophile? You have a gay inflection, and you talk about you wanting gay stuff in the movie about 13-year-old kids that look like they are 6.
I really don't think girls or people who grew up in Toronto, Asian American or whatever, are going to just suddenly throw in gay stuff. That doesn't sound right. That's weird. I don't care if Pixar wrote a letter to head office saying we want gay stuff. It's like, this is for kids, you weirdo.
It's still out of place as fuck.
The movie is already beyond the line, and that's regardless of gay stuff. And thankfully, like some people said, that their kids, their kids are catching up on it. That this movie is weird.
Yeah, kids are smart these days.
Weird and not funny.
Yeah,
it's not funny. The movie's just not funny.
Actually, having to make money. That's an entire discussion for another time. So we're introduced to the friends of May, friends who are go-getters as well. Some of them, not as much as me.
The fat girl is really
there's chemistry,
out of whack.
One that the mother doesn't really approve of. And that's where we really see the give and take of it all. The gaslighting. the guild, where May wants to be obedient and to satisfy her mother's wishes and make her happy. But also she's torn, where she wants to be with her friends. She likes to dance. She wants to go see boys and be a teenager and go to concerts.
She gets praised for her
big running
age
theme in
rates.
the movie is like something called Four Town, which is like obviously a homage to like NSYNC and Backstreet Boys, the boy bands from the early 2000s, and how these girls are trying to raise money to go to the concert. A concert, the mom's like, you shouldn't go to that. You know, these boys are gyrating. It's gross. And you know what? That's such a teenage mom, teenage parent, back and forth. They don't see
13 years old.
eye to eye. And that's really the backbone of the movie. Themes of obligation, guilt.
And what I didn't understand is the Priya, the baby Indian girl, look at her body. She's supposed to be the same age as the others. Like these girls are supposed to all be the same age.
Yeah, she's pretty healthy.
She's like what is that? C cups?
Yeah, pretty much.
She has these super wide hips. Like she's if this movie had a little bit different style, if you didn't tell me that she's 13, I'd say 18, 16, 18. And the main girl who's as tall as her with this completely different body shape, I'd say she's maybe 8. And the fat girl, but I don't even know what that's supposed to be.
She's 4 years old.
No,
Yeah, but I don't. Nothing here makes sense. Nothing makes sense.
What?
Like what was her name? The peppermint patty. She's like, yeah, okay, I can give her. Okay, she got a growth spurt. Okay, but the type of growth spurt that that Priya got. What the fuck? And most of the time you don't see it because she has her arms crossed above her chest. And you have these rare, but you always see her large hips and really big ass. She has like this completely developed body. You just most of the time don't notice the breast because she has her arms crossed around them. And she stands out the most in this group, and it's like this is off. This is just off. And then you have this like the main girl. She looks like a chubby baby herself.
Yeah, it's good. I like it.
How's she 13? What are these proportions?
Yeah. All right.
Like it's just the art direction in this movie is just garbage.
Here is smoking a beer, drinking weed. Thanks for the one. Let's be fair. The fat girl is a go-getter, as in she goes to get more snacks from the refrigerator. This man seems to suffer from Peter Pan syndrome with his obsession with children's media. I don't mind people obsessing over media, whether it's for kids or adults. It doesn't bother me. It's whether or not they understand what they're watching in a proper way. Because I could look at this and go, okay, I can give an analysis like Wisp saying, okay, this girl who's whatever 5'2" or whatever has proportions of an 18-year-old. Now there are girls who have growth spurts before 13. This does happen. It should be mentioned though. If something stands out visually, like what is this giant horn on the side of your head, that might be a talking point. You have to address things visually in a visual media. You have to. If you don't, it's kind of like, oh, okay, we just have girls that have hips and boobs at 12 and 13. It's like, kind of, not really. It does rarely happen.
Way too exceptional. Not on that level.
Not on that. I agree. Not on that level. Yeah. Once you hit 15 or 14, rather, then it's noticeable. I would say.
Mm-hmm.
So that's
there are early bloomers, but even the ones that were in my school, they usually they had to redo a year. So you didn't really know how old they were.
Right. Okay.
So they're in your class, but they're a year older, and then it's out of whack. But this just doesn't make sense.
Yeah, so I don't mind anyone analyzing kids' media or adult media or any kind of media. It doesn't bother me. It's whether or not the analysis is focusing on the right points. That's what I care about. If you
in this case, it's not.
It's
and let's say if Priya was the main character here, and she was And wait, I have a
Panda,
What?
panda creature?
I just had a thing pop up. File transfer stuff. Because I'm cleaning up hard drives. Yeah, if Priya was the main character and she had some boy issue, like nobody would have an issue because she looks like she's a developed girl. She is ready to be into boys and all of that, and then we can talk things through. Like, yeah, okay, difficult time, first experiences, la-di-da. But look at the main girl. She looks like a baby. Maybe a 6-year-old, but this is not a girl that's going into puberty.
Yeah.
It's like I have seen 8-year-olds with more realistic proportions than this chubby toddler. And this chubby toddler, through the metaphor of the panda, is being sexually exploited. That is very creepy. This is like the light version of Cuties when you look at it from that way.
That's very okay.
That is I know that is stretching it, but here that because they're wrapping it in metaphor. But the metaphor is so in your face.
That's the last thing I wanted to be reminded of today.
The thing is, it's not that we have to overinterpret the metaphor. It's that the movie tells us what the metaphor is.
Yeah, if it was like turning green, we could associate the color green with jealousy or guilt or things I want to do but I can't, and I'm fighting my instincts and I'm balancing out with my responsibility. That would be a bit more of a theme that you could say, oh yeah, this is totally what the story is about. In this case, red means like love and lust and blood and guts and all these other hot emotions. You're like, oh, okay. So it takes a very specific flavor with that color, just on the color alone, even though the content's exactly the same. So I don't know if green would be appropriate either, but the message they were going for was just emotion in general. And if you could imagine her hair color or the fur color of the panda would represent those emotions, that would be interesting. As I said before, if we had these emotions represent something specific, but it's any emotion. So this is it's the catch-all generic. We're going to go with red because red's popular, and turning red, you're embarrassed. It represents puberty. It's like, okay, yeah. What's the message of the movie? Go have fun.
Go fuck around, find out.
Find out, yeah. Pretty much.
No.
That's about it, yeah.
Guilt, trying to keep your parents happy, obedience, and then the wanting to go be yourself, an individual, be with your friends, to leave the family unit.
Can you imagine having a friend your age that can transform into a giant bear creature and treating it like it's nothing? It's like, oh yeah, there's Tom. Oh, he's grown the size of a house. He just stepped on a cat. That's all right. That's Tom.
If media has taught me anything, the first thing you should worry about is the government stepping in.
Yeah, it's like the police would be like, what the flying shit is this giant animal terrorizing the neighborhood?
I would assume the after seeing her because she was on television, that the United States Secret Services would try to capture her and study her and try to reproduce whatever she's doing or training her to be a super soldier or create more super soldiers.
If this were Marvel or DC, that's exactly what they would do. Except it would be like S.H.I.E.L.D. or Cadmus or something.
Oh, it's very easy to create more super soldiers with her because this is a family curse.
It's genetic.
Yeah, yeah. In this case, it's easier because it's a fundamental part of the DNA. Yes.
Yeah, and then it becomes very creepy. But that story is thankfully not done. The story we have is bad enough.
It's not the X-Men.
Give Marvel or DC enough time; they'll probably do it.
Yeah, the X-Men were already done.
The super soldier thing. I mean, like the creating like an army of these things, that kind of thing.
Yeah, well.
and express yourself. That's the movie. So when folks are like, I can't relate
Expressed
to that.
by selling
I'm like,
out your
were
body?
you never a teenager? Not even a rebellious one, but one who can at least say that there was a bit of a chapter of your life.
This is one of these. She makes a lot of these sorts of faces. This is a face I have seen repeatedly on borderliners. I do not know why they use this. This is not funny. So I've seen this live. I've seen this when I visited clinics, talk with therapists there, and you have to walk through the borderline ward, and they're like very individual clones that all look the same. It's like everyone wants to be unique, and they do it by all having the same fashion. Like you know this from the memes where they all have the very special hairstyle, but they all have the same kind of special hairstyle. And they make these really horrible faces with their emotions, because their emotions are almost entirely unchecked, and they're often seemingly random. And like the faces, the really ugly faces she makes when she's drawing in the loot stuff in her notebook, and this face as well. I've seen this face so often on these people. It is when you've seen that too often, it's disturbing. It's disturbing when you see it first, or it's just confusing and weird. But when you know what's behind that, it becomes just scary. And I do not want to imagine why Pixar is using all of these what I call borderline faces. Why they think that is a fun and normal thing to do. Maybe they got too many of these on the staff now, and that might also explain why they're obsessed with sex so much now. I don't know. I have no idea. But it is. I find it disturbing, and it scares me. And the part that scares me is also that this is an indication for me that this company is going downhill now.
Well, I like the mention you said about the chiclet-sized teeth. Just these gigantic incisors.
Tombstones.
Yeah, there's no canines. It's just donk, donk, donk.
It's just molars everywhere.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think we'll get another. I don't think we'll get another Wall-E anytime soon.
Oh no.
You had a back and forth. I know I did. I was like, leave me alone, Mom. I want to go play World of Warcraft. You don't get it. I didn't go to concerts. I was too boring and introverted. Overall, for the story, I was satisfied. And by those spoilers.
Then you have very
to
low
see
standards, my friend.
The mother and daughter not come from a place of being cruel or malicious, but of just being emotionally compromised, not being able to find the perspective each one is coming from. Because we see that this mother is also carrying baggage from her own mom.
No, she knows the extent of this.
Yeah, she's know what they're getting into with this.
Yeah. And that's also why her grandmother is getting involved with her other aunts, because, well, obviously, the mother's failing at her task.
Right.
So she's obviously distraught, and of course of being a failure in the eyes of her mother, because that is all. This is the intertwined thing. You don't want to. I don't want to say good, but a healthy child-parent relationship, you do not want to, what's the word? Embarrass? No.
The expectations of the mother.
Yeah, you don't want to
Let
be a failure in the eyes of your parents.
Right, and I think this movie could have taken that message, meaning if they represent the panda or controlling the panda as the aspirations of what you're going to become, but as we know, she was a straight A student, so she was doing everything good. And now she has this other hurdle she can't deal with because it's emotional and it impacts her life through her emotions. Her mom's like, what do? I don't know how to control this. So that's where this story could have been taken a little more seriously, or as a message of it to do well, to the tiger mom mentality, to appease the tiger. And it just becomes, no. I'm going to go to the Sky Dome anyway. I'm going to go sneak out. I'm going to play with my friends. And it's like, oh, okay. That's where we're going. So the conflict becomes just mom and daughter. It's not self. It's not daughter and self, daughter and friends. It's just mom and daughter again.
Yeah. And thanks, Cyber. What I was looking for was disappointment.
Right. All right. Keep going.
The grandmother who shows up in the movie, the one who set these motions into motion, these wheels into motion, this guilt tripping, this level of like, you, May, you're...
No, she didn't. She's not the starting point. She's the product of a long line of women in this family that go all the way back to this ancient ancestor who was into pandas. Red pandas.
Yeah, and all these women had to deal with the problem, and they had some ritual to seal it off, I think. I can't remember.
Yeah, eventually.
Yeah. So she just has to eventually live with it, and then if she doesn't want it anymore, then she'll seal it off. So.
Yeah, and apparently the whole thing, I don't know, it's said that, oh, you can only do this once, and the later you do it, the harder it gets. But every time they try the ritual, it's no problem. Works, fine, no issue.
Yep.
And even later on, and after even all the old women break their pendants and do the ritual again, all works fine, no problem, no issue. She does hers later on again, no issue. This is nonsense. This is so stakes that are set up in the movie are not even tested.
Yeah. You can eliminate the problem by this secret ritual. And she's like, no, I don't want to do that. It's like, why? Life would be easier for you. You don't need to turn into a giant bear anymore for no reason.
mother loves you. Okay, that's sweet. And then the grandmother telling the mother, don't leave this child out of your sight. Be on her like a hawk. And it's like, wow.
Yeah, because she turns into a giant bear.
Yeah, that she can't control.
Do you know what it's like to walk around a metropolis as a giant bear? Because you got aroused at smelling a flower or whatever?
You know what Turning Red's reminded me of? Jaime Reyes' Blue Beetle.
Oh, really?
It's kind of a similar deal there, is that they have to keep it under control, but
Yeah.
in the case of Blue Beetle, the scarab has a mind of its own.
Yeah, exactly.
It can't be helped there.
Yeah. So this is like this is a family secret. This is kind of personal. It's like, listen, figure this out with your daughter. I don't care how free-spirited she is. This is kind of important, I would think. It's kind of like any family secret that's been passed down. Maybe it's like a recipe for, I don't know, their business, like a beer brewery they own. There's a recipe for Pilsner that no one else knows. And your crazy son is like, oh, I got this great recipe. I'm going to share it with my friends. You're like, what the fuck are you doing, you idiot? That's our livelihood. That's our family tradition. We've had it for hundreds of years. What are you doing? Don't ruin that. It's that kind of thing. Same idea. You
It's
don't.
also kind of sad that May has her pretty much her entire family to help her with this, and there's still issues. While to go back to Jaime Reyes, the only people that can remotely help him when he started out are Guy Gardner and Booster Gold, and he still managed to figure it out.
Right. So she has.
Let that sink in.
She has all her family who just wants the best for her. And yeah, they're a bit strict because it's kind of serious. This is a big personal thing. But it's not the end of the world. It's like, listen, okay, if you don't want this thing, you can get rid of it. It's not a big deal. But eventually you're going to have to deal with it until you get there. That's it. And this is, I guess, a metaphor for growing up, but only at that certain rebellious stage where she just keeps rebelling. And it's weird. It's like, if you want to go out, okay, well, grow up a bit, and then you can go out. Which is fair, which parents are pretty, I don't know, depending how strict this mom is. She is strict. She's over the top in her life, but for obvious reason. And now we know the reason. Will she still be like that after she removes the panda power? I don't know. That's where the story could go in an interesting way. And maybe the solution didn't solve the problem, and the the panda power comes back because she's still crying on the inside or whatever. That would be interesting. It doesn't go that way. It's just a fun romp at the end of hijinks and dancing and escaping the home and chasing after a band at Skydome.
What?
Yeah.
Where the 13-year-old girl then tells her mom, "I like gyrating."
Yeah.
Like, mother is justified to tell her 13-year-old underdeveloped daughter that looks like she's 8 or 6 even. Let's go with 6. That, girl, you are not ready.
Yeah.
You are insane. Has someone molested you that you are so sexually active at this age? Bloody hell.
Okay.
That's not...
The
Again,
1990s
it was just
Disney,
creepy. It was just
Pixar
creepy.
villains.
Again,
that are
if you
kinda,
wanna-
like, obvious.
Sorry. If you want Turning Red done right, just look up the Jaime Reyes Blue Beetle. You'll thank me later.
Yeah, this also the scene where she is deliberately in this final fight. The girl is deliberately grossing her mother out by walking backwards on a ramp, because mother is like this 20-meter tall red panda, with her butt up, and there's just sticking it out and moving it around to gross her mother out. She is 13.
I hope he does.
This.
I hope
So
he doesn't. I hope this
the
doesn't
way
have that.
but the way she has her butt up is the way that you're exposing both holes technically. Like this is it's just shown from the side, but this is just fucked up. Yes, the mother is completely right. This is disgusting. This girl is out of line. Sent her to a boarding school, for fuck's sake.
Okay. 11 minutes. We're going to go over a few more. I think this guy is just going to keep talking about how much he loves this thing. So,
Let's see.
Like are in Lion King or Sid in Toy Story. And now we're here in the 2020s. Family trauma. It's apparently, the villain. Encanto.
family trauma?
Drama.
Oh, drama. Sorry.
Family generational trauma.
Oh, it is
Gaslighting and
trauma,
guilt
okay.
trips.
What's the family trauma of a
The
bunch of old
fuck?
Chinese aunties and mothers
There's
telling?
no family trauma in Encanto.
I don't.
Dear God!
They have magic powers, and the question is, the magic powers are waning. What's happening? Oh no!
Wait. Did they literally just use the model for Maui in Encanto? What? Look at it.
No.
They literally reused Maui from Moana in Encanto.
No.
The fuck?
This is not the same model.
It looks the same to me. It looks the same
just
to me.
It's just a what's the word? Stocky. It's just a stocky black man.
No, it's very clearly reused assets.
Okay, whatever.
Okay. You go make the screenshots, put them next to each other, make the meme. We continue the
All right.
video.
Well, let's go.
Okay. Someone make the meme, please.
Same thing here for Turning Red, where it's like, oh, there is no real villain. It's just emotional baggage from your family putting on so much pressure for you. That's kind of relatable. This entire coming of age thing, Pixar's done before. Inside Out, we kind of saw it with Brave, with the back and forth with Merida and her mom, though at that point she was a young woman, but still being pressured into doing family obligations. I feel that. Pixar's so good at finding stories that are human at its core, with characters who are going through the same kind of emotional duress that any of us would, but then you amp it up with something that's kind of fun and fictional,
Not at 13.
Woody having trust issues, feeling like he's being left out. I like to think that many of us have felt that before, which is why Toy Story resonates with us so much. And I see that with Turning Red, with this rift between a mother and her daughter, where they think that there's best interest at heart, when in reality it's a lapse in communication. It's good. And the pacing's fantastic. I watched the movie twice, the same day. I was never bored. It was so good. I liked it. Now, I know that there's that entire visual discussion with CalArts.
Oh, interesting. You left out the thing where she presents the card that shows that she's 13 and an adult. To this day, I don't know what to make of that. In the context of this movie, in any other thing that might be fine, where she's the kid that wants to go on an adventure, and I want to be an adult. No, she says she is an adult.
It does. Honestly, the bus driver doesn't give a shit.
Yeah, the bus driver. Yeah, but it's what her bus ticket shows, and that is weird.
So long as you have a pass,
it's because of the context. It's because of the context of the metaphor of all of this that is about her sexualizing, her selling herself out, and in the beginning of the movie where she states she is 13 and then shows the ticket where she insists that because, well, at least on the ticket she is an adult. Like, is the implication here to tell me that she is 13 and therefore can make consensual decisions about a certain topic that the movie is obviously about?
No.
Movie, fuck off. Pixar, fire these people.
All right.
Which throw my head into a wall, whether you hate it or this discussion, and it can honestly be its own video. But as far as the style goes, I think it works. I did have my reservations where I was like, the teeth are kind of weird, the lips are kind of weird. I don't know if I'm gonna like this. But then I watched the movie, and after 10 minutes, I'm like, this works. I don't love it, but it works. And to be honest, I think it's a better juxtaposition for the story, where if it was too realistic, it might have been too much of a depth.
The animation style is a juxtaposition. What? For the story?
Words.
Does he even know what juxtaposition means?
Do we want to look it up just to be sure?
Do you want I can give you the technical definition. I know what it means.
We might as well.
Oh my God. Here we go. There we go. Okay, juxtaposition.
There we go. There we go, folks. Smut is pissed.
The fact of two things being seen or placed close together with contrasting effect. Yes, if you put an apple and an orange together, they will contrast. They also won't make any goddamn sense. When you have a visual style, the idea of a visual style with the idea of a story. We're not even talking about Cal Arts and the narrative of the film. We're talking about ideas. You do not get ideas in that context and then call it a juxtaposition.
But it's a goofy style about a serious topic. That is also not played serious, by the way.
I learned this word.
Is there a juxtaposition of anything in this movie?
You could talk about her being in a certain place and then all of a sudden, boom, she's a panda. You could say you juxtapose the body of a panda where the body of a little girl was. You could say that because you're putting one on top of the other. This is not how you use the term. I'm a little like, if this guy's area of expertise is visuals, you can use that term. That's not the right way to use the term, though. And this is where I'm a bit confused. Should we even be bothering with this guy? Okay. Let's try some donations, and then we'll try to get back to the video. 2 minutes ago from Tickleson. Alrighty. I was never bored. A quote from I Hate Everything talking about The Last Jedi. Really? Did you say that? I was not traumatized. I was my mouth was open a lot. I was like, what?
I was exhausted.
I was like, wow, what am I watching? This is crazy. Yeah, well, let's not bring up...
Not in a good way.
No, I was just confused.
Not at all.
I was sad and confused. Oh my God. This is really strange. JJJ Madness, again for the super chat. Have you ever noticed how much these cartoon critics obsessed with stories involving growing up despite never growing themselves?
What a pattern.
That could be why they like it so much, or like these themes of puberty and growing. But growing is a very common story, or a very common theme in many, many stories, all throughout even childhood or adolescence or adulthood. So
you feel and think quite different once you've been through a phase and have, like, let's say, leveled up. And just because you reached something that you think is adulthood, there is still so much more to go. You will go through so many more, or you can rather, not that you will, but you can go through so many more stages of growth.
This is
past puberty, of mental, of growth, of wisdom, of comprehension, of gravitas, and many other things that where you understand a little bit more of the world. And yeah, that may make the world a bit more bleak at one end, but it also, through this comprehension of the world, will also give you the opportunity, the first opportunity to consciously affect those parts. Because if you don't even understand what is going on or what is affecting you, how do you function, how do you work, what are you affected by? Once you are aware of these processes, of those things in the world, you may not be able to control them fully, but you are not as much subject to them anymore as you were when you were ignorant of them.
I think that's why you're describing people who don't understand these ideas, and they refer to them as like emotional growth or emotional intelligence, which doesn't really exist. Emotions are just emotions. It's your reaction.
Emotional maturity is a relevant factor.
I would say maturity is fine, but when you talk about trying to give it a term, like they have these weird words.
The
like,
other stuff is nonsense.
Yeah, like emotional intelligence to me, like what is that? What does that mean? Am I smart to hate? Am I smart to
that
love?
That is something that mediocre people want to call themselves because they're mediocre.
I don't
so that
know.
they can feel special.
When we talk about maturity,
I've met a lot of people who use that term unironically and say, "Oh, I'm not the smartest, but I am emotionally intelligent," and they're usually emotionally immature at the same time, very esoteric, believe in all the junk that is out there, and they are not emotionally mature, and thus they're not emotionally intelligent, if that was a thing in the first place. And they usually mean with that they understand how people feel, and they don't. They don't have empathy. Empathy and emotional intelligence is not the same thing. By the official definition, so when you argue with these people, they will give you their own definitions. And their own definitions have nothing to do even with the official one, which incorporates empathy and emotional maturity that these people don't have.
When we talk about growth in general, it's always about having some sort of conflict in life. It could be fixing a flat tire. It could be dealing with someone at the hospital who's about to die. There's all these scenarios. And in each of those scenarios, you're going to think and feel different things. They're not going to be one-to-one, like, oh, my dog died, my cat died, your dog and cat died. Well, I know exactly what you mean. No, you don't. It's different, da-da-da. There's all kinds of scenarios with specific tastes and flavors and feelings and thoughts that you are going to come across. And it doesn't end. It doesn't stop. So growing up, everyone can relate to that because we all had to go through that. And we all had a different experience. Some of us did not deal with it. Some of us just lived through it. And some of us went through the gamut of emotion of finding someone you like and losing them and all this other dramatic crap. So there's a lot of differences between growing up and emotional connections that you may or may not have made. And those are the reactions you're going to get all throughout life: buying your first car, getting to your first accident, buying your second car, all these things you're going to eventually get around to doing, and or hopefully not in some cases. That is learning from your pain and your suffering and your fears and all your anxieties. Those feelings don't go away. You just learn to deal with them. That's what you need to
welcome
accept.
to life.
Yeah, that's life. You need to accept all of these pains you're going to go through and all the negative feelings, and your brain is going to be like flipping out every time and have all this anxiety. That's it. That is the main focus of life, is the pain you go through and learning to deal with it. So growth never stops. Learning never stops. It just slows down because your body slows down. Hopefully your life slows down and you can enjoy it a bit more. You can enjoy learning more. And hopefully it is, in fact, pleasant, not painful. Anyway, we've been talking about for too long.
Learn as much as you can while you're young,
Yeah.
because that's when it actually sticks.
Here is the Giga Chad. Hey, Giga Chad. This nigga got told to clean his room by his mom once, and he never recovered from it. Okay, if you want a good film about the anxieties of maturity, you're better off watching Stand By Me. It's a good film. I like that one.
I feel like you're gonna get sniped one of these days when you say that word.
Well, I'm just reading what someone else wrote, so.
Yeah, but
So
Yeah.
one of the rough ways to spot is someone emotionally mature or not is, it correlates with people being pseudo-intellectuals. That is when someone uses words wrong, and then, even when you correct them, insists on their own wrong definition, or just keeps it. Maybe does not contest you for correcting them, but then the next day will keep using the wrong personal definition. Doesn't care about the real definition, and that can be small words. It's absolutely baffling. If you deal with such people, don't trust them with anything.
Okay.
That's all.
We're going to go on for 2 more minutes. This guy's obviously gushing about this film. And hopefully he won't drive us nuts and stop prematurely. So try to get to 15.
But there's this cartoony energy visually for Turning Red, with the eyes, the expressions, the snappy action and movement and physical humor. I was laughing out loud at a lot of jokes in the movie with just the movement of the characters when May had her diary. And I see folks who are
face.
upset, where they're like, oh my God.
That face. That face I have seen, and not on Asians. I have seen this on German girls with borderline when they are super obsessed with something, usually sexually. They do this face. They seriously do this face. It is absolutely disturbing. And imagine a girl doing this face at you and then stalking you.
not even at you, a drawing of you. Ooh.
Yeah, but no, imagine at you personally, Gingerman. Directed at you, not next to you, but at you, looking at you.
I don't want to remember anything about this movie after today, so I'm not gonna.
Yeah. Axton Zero in the chat says the face of evil.
of the face of evil, that is horny.
Tyler Preston says that is creepy. Worst Company says yuck. Yord Kell says cringe.
You don't say.
Anyway, let's keep going.
It's not funny.
On smut in her journal. It's inappropriate for a Pixar film. Really? Nah, that's your hang up, Okay, you can feel what you feel, but
No, we're just saying that the face looks stupid.
Were you never a teen hormonally charged and amped up on, that's how they feel. And to
She's
shame
13.
them for it, to think it doesn't exist, is quite ignorant in my opinion.
There is a reason we make stories like this with 15-year-olds at the earliest, usually. Or what would be your average guess?
I know girls have these emotions, but to have it expressed in this fashion is a bit uncomfortable for some people. And there are some scenes like this with the mom getting involved with almost every aspect of these scenes. Like, see that scene with the guy working at the convenience store? Like, a mom pops in there.
Yeah, the absolute douchebag.
Yeah. I mean, it's like, oh, I'm kind of glad she did that, but at the same time, like, oh, this is kind of awkward. Like, it's hard to watch. And that's the thing I don't want in a kid. I never want to watch a kid's film where I go, oh, this is not feeling good. It doesn't feel comfortable. Yeah. It feels awkward and embarrassing to watch this thing. That's That's what I don't want in a kid's film.
Yeah, my question was this theme of like growing up, first love, like with the whole emotional stuff thing. What is the average age you remember or would think of most of these stories are?
I don't know. Around puberty, around 10.
Yeah, but what's puberty? He says this is puberty. I don't see this girl in puberty. I see a 6-year-old that is we're told is 13.
Yeah, the art style does not help that. How she's depicted does not help that.
Yeah, I would say most of these stories are with around 15-year-old characters.
They should be, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Around 14, 15. That would make more sense.
And also look like that.
In some cases,
Look like
yeah.
that.
The other girls are tiny. I don't know, that little baby-looking girl is like, okay, that's way weird.
Mm-hmm. The other two I can buy.
Yeah.
But this is wrong.
All right. Here is Roan Harushin. Hey, Roan, how's it going? Reject turning red. Embrace my dress up darling. And I know that's an anime reference. Let me just check it out. Yes, it is. Oh, I think I know this one. Japanese manga series began serialization in 2018 from Square Enix Young Gangan. Isn't that cool? And it's in TV from January to March 22nd. Or 2022, rather. Cool. 11 episodes, romantic comedy, slice of life. Cloverworks. There you go. That sounds cute. All those romantic comedies are adorable. They always make me laugh. Anyway, 1 minute left.
Anything, I think it's kind of healthy to like acknowledge it, that teenagers can be imperfect, because you know what? They are. We're all imperfect, especially teenagers. They're going through changes. May did, her friends did. And I also like how, along with their imperfections and their flaws as character traits go, visually, you know, they also kind of fit that with moles, with their eyebrows, with their hair, with their braces. You're an awkward teenager. You don't know what the hell you're doing. And I think Turning Red really captured that. The awkwardness of it all. The impulsive feelings of one day you're like, oh, I'm gonna hang with my friends. The other day you're like, whoa, Johnny J down the hallway is looking pretty good. And it's like, yeah, because hormones will take you for a trip and you better hang on for dear life. And that's what I see here. And I know I've been rambling. I see a coming of age story of a girl who was going through the ringer of puberty. The panda itself represents that. How it's something where the emotional highs of being the panda,
I'm not sure she really
the emotional
started.
lows, trying to process it, trying to cope with it. The guilt-driven aspects of a mom expecting everything from you, and also a mom who is imperfect too. We see her baggage from her own upbringing, how she was brought low.
So she is more scared about the panda thing than her daughter failing at school.
Yeah, I don't think the school is an issue after a certain point.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think this is I would say this is an unintentional red herring. Because this mom, if the daughter's scores weren't perfect, I don't think she would give as much of a crap. Because the panda is so much of a bigger issue in this family. The panda curse. I'm not buying it.
Yeah, this should have been
because
a bit of a focus of the story, I thought, but it didn't go that way. As we said, it did not focus on that.
Mm-hmm.
She also turned into a panda. It's a generational thing with the family because she wanted to be with May's dad. That was an entire chapter. And May's dad's a great character. I think he's a real MVP.
I wouldn't call that a chapter. It was just one scene, really.
Quiet guy, but he actually is empathetic. He has empathy for his daughter, for his loved ones, and he cares for them. Despite being quiet, he's thinking and he helps and he's a loving person. And then the mom herself being brought low where she's like raging at the end. It's like an entire kaiju scene where I'm quite certain at this concert like 17 kids were smashed. So to me, in tandem with the characters and their flaws, using the panda and the transformation as symbolism, as a way to represent puberty, going through the ringer of being a teenager. And I know folks are like, the red moon, red panda, tampons. It's like, oh, come on,
No, it's about the period.
grow up. Yeah, just grow up. Girls have periods. If you don't know that, then I feel bad for you. You know, just get over.
Well, how about you grow up? Because you see this shit as good. You have issues, man.
Yeah, I don't think women generally want to illustrate or visualize or even symbolically what that means. I don't think they want to be reminded, hey, let's make an animated film that symbolizes getting a period. You're like,
You know, most girls and women hate their periods.
Yeah, I don't know
Usually
why.
the ones that go through a lot of pain, where there are the girls for whom it's just this flowery experience of like nothing major happens. Like there's a little red streak in the pad, and that's that. And then there's the ones that get anemic because they're basically losing a liter of blood.
Yeah, wow.
One of my roommates was like that.
Yeah,
she was in massive pain, and she knew she was an absolute asshole during that time. But we understood that because she was in massive pain. When you're in massive pain, you are just by nature, because you're under so much stress. You're just cranky.
Yeah,
it's not because the hormones. It's because of the bloody pain.
Yeah, I don't think any culture on the planet, whether it's China or otherwise, looks at that and goes, "Oh yeah, that's a great symbolism to have in an animated kids film."
Yeah, in PE, the girls that sat on the benches when to get down into the hall, you walk past them, and they talk about how because they sit on the benches because they had their periods and they hated it because it just felt horrible.
Yeah,
and that doesn't go away until you can't get kids anymore.
You want things to be symbolic without being on the nose. You want them to be hitting you over the head with a feather. You don't want them to be having the visual depiction and color scheme of the thing it's trying to represent in the background. It's a bit too much. Anyway.
And by the way, just on the side note, because I hear that sometimes with these weird fetishes, there are those fakers, those trenders. They also obsess. Some of them also obsess over wanting periods.
Yeah, well,
trans women don't, because we know it's shit. This is nobody sane wants that.
Yeah, if you want to become a male or female, you don't want to have the negative elements of that sex.
Mm-hmm.
You want the positive elements.
Yeah.
Yeah, no one wants. I can't wait to hurt myself as a woman. Like, what are you talking about? Why would you?
I can't wait to have a month of feeling like I have kidney stones once a week every month of my life. Yeah, great idea.
Yeah.
Wonderful.
All right, here's a super chat. We're going to go straight to Stream Memes. JJJ Madness, thanks for the 5 again. You could even imagine what Saberspark's childhood was like to get him to be so excited over garbage like this. I don't know. I mean, people get excited over all kinds of different things for silly reasons. So I don't mind that he likes the art style, he likes the message and all this stuff. It's the reasoning that he's like, well, grow up. It's a show for kids. Yeah, but the theme is growing up. Yeah, that's fine.
It doesn't help you that he's a brony.
Yeah, he doesn't understand what the actual problem of the movie is. And I think Cyber put it right after the super chat, who says, this guy is just on a puberty high and never checked himself.
I don't know. I really don't know. It's hard to figure this guy out. What is?
I don't think he ever grew out of that puberty mindset.
It could be a lot of people have a love of their puberty or high school years, for example, and they just reminisce on that, if not stay on that for the rest of their life.
Maybe we just have to match children's content at this point so that you can basically watch stuff all your life and not have to rewatch anything.
It's possible. I don't know. People love the 80s. I love the 80s. I will watch cartoons and shows from the 80s here and there. I think they're fun. But it's not like it's not a hobby of mine, right? I don't go out and check out Robotech or Goonies or any of these old films. They're cool to watch. I'll flip them on the TV if they're on. I'll watch them for a bit, but I won't I got to sit down and watch Home Alone or something. Not my thing. Anyway, here's one from JS. Then we'll get on. This is a movie about space periods intended for children. Thanks, JS. That was great. All right. Let's see what you guys cooked up while the stream was going on. In the stream memes. Okay. Here we go. Me and Mike Testa when we watched this exact video. Okay, the middle one is Mike Testa. You're the one on the right.
Clock and Saberspark in the face.
Okay.
And then Legacy on the right, yeah.
Yeah.
With his popcorn in the corner.
I'm assuming that's what's going on. Yeah, this is very interesting drawing here. I'm trying to what's going on. Mateus, turning Canada more like turning red.
Ooh.
Oof.
Yeah, I don't want to talk about Trudeau. I'm tired. Here's a better story about an Asian girl turning into a creature as a metaphor. Kaiju girl Caramelis. Really? Never heard of that one. I've read my share of manga. I haven't gone across this genre before. Girls turning into monsters. We found Trudeau's hideout. Oh, no. Isn't that the pose of the guy taking a picture in front of a tombstone? Not Trudeau. Maybe they put Trudeau's head on. I don't know.
I think so.
Still funny.
I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know.
Could be him.
I don't think he's a fan of Toronto. I know Toronto gets him elected, or rather, they elect their representative in Toronto, or in their district for Ontario, which is in Toronto, and it's a very liberal city, but they don't directly get him elected.
Sounds like you have no chance of ever getting rid of such a guy.
Yeah, I know.
Your democracy's broken.
Yeah, he was the guy who got elected for electoral reform. That was his number one cause. And guess what? He looked at how he got elected, and he didn't change it. Thanks, Trudeau.
What an idiot.
Who saw that?
Oh, it's almost like he lied.
It's almost like he knew that it wasn't going to happen.
It's almost like the socialists lied to you.
Yeah.
Man.
Like they always do.
The original Turning Red, Metamorphosis from Franz Kafka. Oh. Well, that one's a classic, so you got to read that. Oh, yeah. You wouldn't like me when I'm illogical.
Rest in peace, Mr. Spock.
That's great. I love it. Guess who likes this movie? Joey. Who's Joey?
Veritas Joe.
Oh, of course. That's assumed. We don't even have to guess that. Jesus. Oh, he has a comment. The amount of mental gymnastics and cognitive dissonance I'm seeing Twitter N-words. Oh, here we go. Go through to justify the hate train for Turning Red, a movie that hasn't even come out yet, is insane. Lamau. Like, let it go. You not even finna watch. You not even finna watch this harmless ass. Okay, first off, if you're making the argument that no one's seen it, how can you then make the statement that you not even finna watch this harmless if you don't even know it's harmless yet? Dude, every time you open your mouth, it's like you're dumb. Your second sentence contradicts yourself. It's it just like you're unaware.
No. He's saying that even once it's out, people aren't going to finish watching it. The people that are complaining.
This is the assumption.
You know what? You know what? I did. And it's dumb and horrible and cringy. But I'm not surprised some obsessed gay dude loves the movie that sexualizes a kid that looks like she's 6.
To be fair, we don't even know if he's gay or not.
I don't want to know.
I don't care either.
Tokusatsu. Tokusatsu? I don't know what that means.
Not at the moment. I've been forgetting words lately.
Wait, where?
Well, this is his third tweet. Tokusatsu. It's one word.
Tokusatsu, yeah.
No idea.
Yeah.
All right.
Irrelevant.
The culprit responsible for I could barely read this, for starting the logo oversimplification trend is right here. So logo history, evolution of the Apple.
It's all Apple's fault.
No, this is fine. This is no big.
No, I'm just saying that's the meme.
Yeah, but this is what you mean when you have a big organization. You want a simple logo. You want to be.
Wait, the 2015 one is just the 1998 one again?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
I
That's
remember.
dumb.
I remember the bevels and the embossed 90s. The blue. It wasn't blue. It was more like the 2001 one. But because they had all those iMacs with different colors, like one was purple, one was pink, so the color didn't really matter.
That was also dumb.
Yeah, so I remember that sort of. It was like this faded glass sort of look.
This is dumb.
Primer, all these different.
They had these nice 3D effects and the gloss and the shading, and those is really the piece black thing,
It looked like
black flat thing. Who wants the poisoned apple? That is so poisoned it's black now.
Yeah. All right. God bless this channel found it. Holy hell. It's literally just cola, you piece of shit. There's no
The one I thought, yeah. Thank you.
What the F is wrong with you? How effing desperate are you going? Or you seem cool that you decide you want to force a joke about a child consuming drugs, which would be funny, except nothing in the scene, much less this screenshot, implies that they're doing drugs or a drug stand-in. You just saw a can of soda and the two neurons in your brain fired for the first time in a week, and you jumped into the comment section to screech lean and spam purple emojis like a clown bastard. You people are the reason art is dying. F you. Oh my god.
Oh lordy.
Lean. What does lean mean?
I don't know.
L-E-A-N? To me, that means I'm having a steak. It's a lean cut.
I am too detached from society to understand all these stupid words.
Yeah, I don't know. She's drinking.
I had my nice place in nerd culture, and now all these weirdos came into nerd culture, and I don't understand nerd culture anymore. Fuck you, normies. Get out. Go somewhere else. Go ruin another subculture.
Okay.
Yes.
Pixar fell off so effing hard. Like, what the F even is that?
Pretty much.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Wisp after turning red, I swear every bloody time. I'm gonna shoot.
Oh my god.
Hey. That's a nice shot. Look at that.
Oh my god.
We got guns everywhere.
That's a nice gun. That's a good silencer too.
Pew pew pew. Bang bang. All right.
Followed by an emote.
Censorship is censorship. Okay.
Yes.
Not wrong.
I fully agree.
We need to end the Korean War as quickly as possible. What the hell? Okay.
Moving on.
I have found something with a similar art style as this movie. Fanboy and Chum Chum. Wow. Okay.
Have I seen this?
I don't know.
I've seen it and it's god awful.
Right.
You want to know?
I've seen the movie, but I think I've seen the character.
This is not a movie. It's a TV show.
Yeah.
Also,
Atrocious.
you want to know what Nickelodeon turned down in favor of this? Adventure Time.
They could have made an Adventure Time movie.
No, it's like Nickelodeon could have had Adventure Time in period. Instead, they turned down the pilot for Adventure Time in favor of Fanboy and Chum Chum.
Oh. What idiots.
Pretty much.
All right, here's Mateus. Pixar.
Well, to clarify, that's around the time where they were starting to focus way too much on SpongeBob. But let's move on, yeah.
All right. Mateus says, Pixar did Soul, which was decent. While I do think Turning Red is below average, even though it is very uncomfortable to watch, it is sad to see the quality of Pixar movies being so low nowadays. And he put a attachment to the Pixar logo.
The Luxo lamp and the Pixar Luxo lamp and the Pixar ball.
Which was before or after they animated it, I can't remember.
I think the Luxo lamp. I think Luxo Junior is literally one of the first animated shorts they ever did.
Oh, okay. They just kept it.
That lamp right there is Luxo Junior.
Yeah. Here is from
Kyogre's Hideout.
Skydance bets big on animation, bringing in Brad Bird.
Let me see if I can look up the whole name of that article.
Okay, Skydance is where all of Pixar's talent behind classics like Toy Story went. Skydance?
It's a studio thing.
Another studio, yeah.
Yeah. February 28, 2022. The move reunites Bird with controversial former Pixar head John Lasseter. I remember that name. Who is now heading up animation for Skydance and is slated to co-produce alongside Skydance president Dana Goldberg and other people.
All right. Cool.
Yeah.
The better Turning Red. Oh.
Yeah. The rest of the name of the article is like bringing Brad Bird for a new animation project.
So Disney's American Dragon Jake Long. Okay.
Great, fantastic show. If you can find, if you have, I think it's on Disney Plus. If you still have it, great show. I highly recommend it.
I do have Disney Plus, so I might check it out.
It is literally Turning Red done right.
Okay.
And it's an action show, so
yeah. See, if she was like a Kung Fu Panda, that'd be cool. She turned into like a martial art.
Cyber in the chat said lean is drugs plus soda.
What? Drugs plus soda?
Oh, that's lean. Oh shit.
So you just put pills in your soda and drink it?
It's like bubble tea.
That's silly. Blame the corporate mice. Dystopia. Oh God.
If only Walt knew. If only Walt knew.
Women, when they wear the same shirt, they turn into.
They go against. They have a cat fight.
Men, when they wear the same shirt, they.
Yay, same team.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, exactly. The same team thing.
Oh, I see.
It's like, hey.
Yeah, that's cool. Okay. Red Panda is standing by. Yay! It's kind of cute. Looks like a raccoon, but yeah, Red Panda, sure. I don't know my animals. The Red Panda spends nearly all of its adult life alone, just like you effing loser. My alarm at 7 for a class that starts at 7:39. Me finally having a good dream. Oh.
Mm-hmm.
That's happened to me on an occasion. Yes.
Come at me. Okay, yeah, lots of red pandas.
I mean, what'd you expect?
Nope, not getting up. Eye is resting. Okay. This is now the cat memes. Red pandas are cats.
Oh, the face again.
Is that what they cut?
Cut what?
One of the pages? I didn't stop on all the frames. I didn't.
So two boys holding hands? I don't know.
That's Kaoru Heart Shinji.
Oh.
What, Ava?
I didn't know that.
Is this a frame from the movie?
Yeah, I don't remember.
No,
it's the style her drawings are in.
No, I'm just saying, is that a straight up Ava reference?
No, I think
and it's a Fujoshi thing.
Figures, yeah.
She is 13 and imagining gay sex.
Yeah, well.
How is she?
Great.
How is she? How can you create a 13-year-old girl that knows what Evangelion is? She is clearly too young to even watch that show in the first goddamn place.
So I'd watch this over Turning Red. The Life and Times of Juniper Lee.
That's another.
I remember this. It
That's
wasn't-
another great show.
Yeah, I saw a bit of it, and I think I kind of found it okay.
Jake Long was ultimately better, but this one was pretty good too.
All right.
Next up, a lot of comments from the video.
Oh my God.
Just the first and last one because those are the shortest.
It really is a movie form of do not kill the part of you that is cringe, kill the part that cringes.
No, do kill the part that is cringe.
What difference would that make if you're both cringing?
They both result in cringe. Kill them both.
No, the part that cringes knows what cringe is.
This is bizarre. What logic is this? All right.
It's upside down.
With the whole red panda period thing, the director actually said that she wanted to do red pandas more because China and Canada's colors are red and white, which to me seems 10 times funnier.
Isn't China's flag red and yellow?
Why would that matter? It's taken place in Toronto. I think we know where Toronto is. We don't need to have the color of the fur be red and white. That's weird.
In a way, yes.
It could have been blue and white. That would have been the colors of our hockey team. That would have gone over well. Or our Blue Jays, same color. Our baseball team. That would have gone over very well. All the dads in the even the moms would go, "Hey, Blue Jays," or "Hey, Maple Leafs."
Oh shit! This one from Legacy.
Oh God, be glad you didn't read the other comments. Holy fuck!
Yeah, no.
Oh yes.
Remember,
That's why I said that's why I said just first and last.
Yeah, I know.
Holy fuck!
Remember back when Killmonger could kill an elephant with his bare hands, no indestructible suit required. And next thing I know, I was eating dirt. I had all these junior high flashbacks. This amazing guy just came out of nowhere and just decked the elephant.
Yeah, it's someone talking about Killmonger. Yeah.
Yeah, just
That design though, it's like holy shit.
Yeah, that's a bit different than the movies.
That is vastly different.
Yeah.
That is Killmonger's original design.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
Although we can say what we want about the movie, differing opinions or the like. I do still appreciate the Black Leopard reference, regardless of the movie's quality.
All right. When U.S. intelligence discovers that Canada is harboring a little Chinese girl and can transform into giant red panda, when the Canadians invade, and they will.
They will.
I think I've seen this cartoon at some point.
Yeah,
this one I don't remember.
This is based off a comedian.
Atrocious.
Of course.
It's a child version of the comedian. What the hell's his name?
Oh, I remember.
What, Chris Farley?
No.
What's that? My childhood as an asshole or something?
What?
I don't know what it was called. It wasn't very. It wasn't on very long.
My childhood as an asshole.
I don't know. Something like that. Something of that general vibe.
Yeah.
Okay.
There was a few comedians with that sort of look, at least in Montreal. So, but Montreal had it was Just for Last festival is pretty big, so a lot of people go through there. Enough of bad movies and books. Read Thomas Sowell. Yes, I admit.
Yeah.
That's a great idea. In international history. Yes. Author of Race and Culture. Yes. Always read Thomas. Every one of his books is awesome. What is Hans get
Yeah, what does that even say though?
I can't even read that.
Flammenwerfer.
It goes by so quick. I can't.
Flammenwerfer.
Yeah, but the font is so weird. I don't like what the hell.
What does it mean?
This is not weird. This is Sütterlin.
Yeah, I don't type.
I don't think it's even real Sütterlin.
There's so many
You
concepts.
should know
No,
what it
it's
means.
not real Sütterlin. It has this new S thing.
Whatever. We get it. They're the same picture. Yeah, it's just clearly.
Thank you, Shepard.
Clearly, they're the same picture. Clearly, look at that.
Just look the same to me. I don't know.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
You just see big black guy and think they all look the same.
You don't play the race card on me, you
Well, I
fuck.
played a fat card on you.
So here's Mike.
Just whatever. Don't play any of that. Don't play that on me, dude.
Here's Mike Testa's
Whatever. I mean,
Mike Testa's current Avatar, Goofy movie, and Teen Wolf did it better.
yes, they did. Yes, they fucking did.
Teen Wolf was a bit weird. Goofy movie was also a touch different, but it was okay. It was clearer. It was definitely clearer and easier to understand. The Goofy movie. Teen Wolf had also some weird moments in it as well, but that was like 80s. That was like Michael J. Fox, I think. If I remember correctly.
Yep.
Coping with loss. How Kingdom Hearts got me through my parents' divorce. Yes, I'm for real, lol. Oh my god, are you...
I find the positioning of the pictures on that screen very, very weird.
I am not watching. We are not voting on that. We are not watching that. In fact, we're not watching any Kingdom Hearts.
Are we fortifying the poll against this?
Well, this guy is just, I don't know, not worth our time.
Is Kingdom Hearts just permanently blacklisted on this channel?
No, we're not. We're not getting rid of it, but I think we have to have a collective group of people
Wait. So look,
that know what the fuck they're talking about.
Yeah, we can't just watch Kingdom Hearts.
If this thing gets elected in the poll will be fortified against this video by everyone vetoing it. So don't even try.
Yeah, if we wanted to do...
Or just gets vetoed, period.
Welcome to democracy.
We can do a Kingdom Hearts video, just not from this guy. And if we do one, we're going to have people who know Kingdom Hearts, at least 2 other people, with me so we aren't absolutely lost, okay?
Like me.
Somewhat, yeah. You have to know, because it's so confusing. And there's so many games. It's going on for like, was it 15 years now?
At 20 actually.
Yeah, more. 20. Yeah,
this year's the 20th anniversary actually.
Yeah, it's so crazy that if anyone else, like I'd be lost. I have played the first game to a point.
It's only really complicated if you were following the series in real time. That's where the complication comes in, because nowadays you can just do all the research that you're able to, and you can follow it decently well.
All right, that doesn't make sense.
What I did, which is what it does. That doesn't make sense half the time. That is true.
Whenever time I watch a video of someone talking about Kingdom Hearts, I'm like, all right, let me just see what's, because it's always different, right? There's a mobile game or whatever. You're checking. Oh, fine, I'll check it out this year. And I'm like, who are these characters? Who is Rox? Who are these guys in black?
Rox.
Yeah, there's.
Well, now with the current saga over, it's like things are at least decently easy to research now that the current story is essentially complete.
Okay, well, to me, this is just another flavor of watching Hideki Anno's Evangelion bizarreness, but just with video games, and it just keeps going. And then you throw in more Squaresoft characters, and then you throw in some more Disney characters and IPs, and you're just, oh my god! What?
Ironically enough, in terms of the crossover stuff, Kingdom Hearts 3 goes to simplifies things more in terms of the characters.
Stop talking
until
about
DLC.
Kingdom Hearts, please.
I'm just saying, it's a complex topic, and if we're gonna do it, we're gonna do it right. And
that's why this is a tangent that will go on ad infinitum if we don't stop it.
No.
It's cancerous. It just keeps growing and then enveloping everything.
It's not that bad.
No. This barely comes up, but when it does, I have to nip it in the bud and say, guys, don't do this unless you all want a Kingdom Hearts video, and then we'll make a special on it on the weekend, okay?
It really isn't that bad, or at the very least, or maybe a smut talk.
Go away.
All right, calling out pervert message.
It's not that bad. Moving on.
Turning Red review in a nutshell.
Yeah, pretty much.
We don't need that in our cartoons, guys. Or for kids, at least. You need to grow up. Meanwhile, we see what he is. Oh, I get this reference. This was me. How World of Warcraft almost ruined my life. Oh my god.
Oh
my god.
Oh god.
Oh god.
Turning
No.
red. Wow.
That
This-
is that is more honest.
This somehow looks better than the movie.
Nah,
This is
but
terrifying.
it is more honest.
Yes.
Jeez.
Yeah, I agree with Bashir here.
Yeah. What?
We agree with
the-
Shepard, yes. It's like, what?
Yeah. Our man Bashir knows what's going on. All right.
Mhm.
Maybe he doesn't. We'll never know.
Okay. Did Ron Arushan give us? Yes, he did. Ron Arushan. Thank you for the tip there. Lean is an alcoholic drink with cough syrup. What? I thought it was drugs and pop.
Okay.
So it's drugs and pop, or it's cough syrup and booze. What the? Guys, don't drink anything that I just described, okay? Don't ever,
Don't try this at home, kids.
don't even attempt it.
No
Not at
flaming
all.
homers.
Wait, what?
Yeah,
No
no.
flame.
No flaming home. That's true, yes. That's a Simpsons
Okay,
reference.
okay. Oh, okay.
Cough syrup, random drinks, light on fire, tastes like gold, whatever. Anyway. Okay, yeah, that was 15 minutes of this gentleman gushing about a film that isn't so hot. It's not bad.
That is but inappropriate nonetheless.
Yeah, it's not the greatest Pixar film. It's a one-time watcher if you ever do watch it. I would watch it just
Don't-
because I have nephews and we watch it together. I'm never probably going to watch it personally. But other than that, there are better things to watch. So, alrighty. Almost 3 hours. Doing okay. Yeah, good stuff, guys.
Oh God.
Yeah. That was fun. So,
Mhm.
thank you, as always, for these wonderful ideas. I never would have watched this guy if it wasn't for you fellows recommending this whatever this guy's channel is. He's super popular, but I've never heard of him. I don't know if he does animation or he's just a gamer and he's gay and he likes cartoons, whatever. It's fine.
He talks about cartoons, yes.
Yeah. So, anyway, thanks for listening. We'll talk to you guys real soon. Have yourself a great end of your Saturday or Sunday, depending where you are in the world.